Chicken Jockey.
Welcome to the Staying on Topic podcast. Welcome to the Staying on Topic podcast. My name is Ruben.
I'm Vic.
My name is John.
And if it's in the title, we're probably just going to put it in the title as like the clickbait thingy. We watched the Minecraft movie. In fact, we did exactly what we did for Captain America. We are recording this immediately after watching the movie. So it's fresh on our minds. But
fresh on the minds, yeah.
Here's the thing. Even though it's very fresh, it feels like a fever dream. I don't remember most of it. Or like when we're going to talk about it, I'm probably going to start being like, oh yeah, that did happen.
Yeah. Because you need some time to process?
Yes. Because
makes sense.
For I guess breaking the fourth wall. We were originally going to do this tomorrow, but stuff came up and we basically have to do it today.
Yeah.
But I did want a day to at least process it. But we're just kind of going off the whim. Spoilers though, we don't think we're going to have enough to talk about.
Yeah, so we got a couple other things we can delve into. It's not a problem.
We were like, this movie's cool. It's fun. But
it's still a kids movie.
Yeah, there's very little. We'll get to it. There's very little substance. So instead, we're just going to talk about stuff that's upcoming, and then the thing that we were supposed to talk about last week or the week before with the Switch 2, which is the thing we're going to lead off with. Switch 2 got announced. Well, I shouldn't say got announced. It got a release date finally.
Yeah. I was like, got announced quite a while back.
It was June 5th or 6th. It's sometime
early June-ish.
Beginning of June, first week of June.
Yeah. And it looks awesome.
Looks amazing.
It looks really, really good. And I think all the games that are going to be coming out for it,
all the games look good.
Look really good.
Really good. I agree.
But the topic of discussion, when it comes to it, is it's a bit pricey.
Would you say it's pricey?
I wouldn't say it's pricey.
I wouldn't say it's pricey either.
I think because there's two things that people are saying when it comes to it being pricey. There's the actual console itself, and then the games. Which we'll talk about the console first because I think the games are a much broader issue that I think will have more of an impact on gaming in general. Whereas like the Switch as a console, that could be like an isolated thing that I don't think will impact other. Like I don't think if PlayStation after they come out with they already come out with the Pro, but like their next console, I don't know if they're gonna like be as expensive, or Xbox's next console. I don't know if it'll be as
well. Xbox and PS5 are both $500, right?
Yeah.
So I mean.
Yeah. So to kick it off right off the bat, there's going to be 2 bundles at launch. There is going to be the base bundle without a game. That's going to be $449.99. So $450, with tax, all that. And then there's going to be one with Mario Kart World. I almost said World Tour. I think that's the app. It's just called Mario Kart World. That'll be bundled with it for $50. Now, I don't know about you two. I thought for what the Switch 2 is doing, for all that it's claiming that it can do, I honestly think $450 is pretty reasonable. And I think getting it with Mario Kart World, that's a steal. I really do think that. Now, granted, we're in an economy where, we're not doing so hot. So $450 to drop on one console, that's a bit much, And I'm not going to sit here and say that, $450 isn't expensive to somebody.
Yeah, it's expensive.
I mean, even to us, it's expensive to us. However, I'm a Nintendo shill. Nintendo make I buy.
Right.
But I'm also not the kind of person to look at everything Nintendo does with like rose tinted glasses. You can look at stuff that they do and have criticisms.
We've had some videos about us talking about them in a certain way.
Well, like I think one of our first podcasts was us talking about piracy and how Nintendo just hates it and like.
Yeah,
they're super against stuff like that. So Nintendo's never not at fault.
Yeah, but if you really look at it, I mean, they're charging you $50 for a game when they said games. We know what we'll get into that in a little bit. So not bad. You get one game for $50, and I know it's the whole what economy we're in right now, but like if you really look at it, when PS5s came out, right?
Oh yeah,
they got bought and they got scalped, right?
Yeah,
and people were buying them for what? $900,000. They were going all over the place, and they were selling for $1,000. And then those same people are going to turn around and say, "Oh, this is too much for this. It's just Nintendo. You're being greedy, and And it's like, nobody told you stuff when you were buying $1,000 PS5s or $500 PS5s. And I know their excuse is going to be same what it's been the past couple of weeks. No, well, it's a PS5 and it's not a Nintendo. Better graphics and better games and whatever. Yeah, but Nintendo makes some pretty damn good games too. And to each their own. That's basically what it is, right? You don't want a Nintendo. You think it's too expensive, then don't buy it. But at the same time, it's still on paper cheaper than an Xbox, cheaper than a PS5. And I'm sorry, some of the features on it look pretty damn good. I mean, when you look at their handhelds, I was never a PS person, a PS Portal.
PSP?
PSP, sorry. I was never a fan of that as well. And I don't think I'm going to be a fan of the Xbox one when it comes out, to be honest. I mean, I don't, at that point, then it's the whole argument right now. You might as well go buy a Steam Deck. Well, okay, for those, maybe okay, but Nintendo's unique. And I think the Switch 2 looks really good. I think they've made a lot of improvements for their Joy-Cons. That was the only issue we ever really had with the Switch was the loose Joy-Cons after you switch them on quite a bit of times. But if it's going to be a magnet, and and as long as you don't drop it, and you're not buying it for your 8-year-old to be a handheld console, I mean that's a whole other story. But it's
I know.
I think there's a part of people that they look at what the Switch 2 is capable of doing. And I don't necessarily want to say it's that they're not appreciative of it, but I think we're kind of in a place in the gaming sphere where if it's not doing the absolute most that it can do, then it's either underpowered or in this case it would be underpowered and overpriced. People are like, oh, it's only going to be able to do up to PlayStation 4 graphics. PlayStation 4 games still look good to this day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like getting PlayStation 4 graphics on a Switch that's meant to be portable, that's really good.
I want you to take your PS4, put it in a car, and then try to drive around playing with it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's why again, I'm not giving them the benefit of the doubt or anything, but this feels like a significant upgrade.
Yeah.
They could have done the bare minimum. They could have kept most of it the same and maybe changed a few things
well, it's going to be a 120 hertz screen too, right?
Yeah, 120 hertz
It's like
screen. And then they bumped it up to 1080p instead of 720p from the original Switch. And then in the dock, it can bump the resolution up to 4K.
4K, yeah.
And there's a fan in the dock, so that way it doesn't overheat while it's in there. It's like there's all this tech, and you could say it's like, oh, well, yeah, but whatever. But it's like, at least they're trying.
Yeah. If you look at all the features, we can run through all the features, but all the things they showed on the Direct, right? Mm-hmm. But I understand people are saying, okay, it's still a lesser console, right? And as far as power and graphics and everything. But at the same time, maybe their things might not work right, and when it first comes out, the mouse thing. Yeah. I think I am most excited about that. I have forever have had issues playing keyboard and mouse. Right, I love playing keyboard and mouse, but just dexterity's not there. So being able to play with a controller on this side and a mouse on this side, and maybe trying to even do it on a FPS on a first-person shooter. This is something I've dreamed of, and I was like, if it doesn't work at first, great, but it's just the innovation that they're putting into it. The camera stuff, right? People dogged on it and camera looks horrible or it's laggy or whatever, but is any other console doing this? Or are they taking away the need for having external, Discord, right? People are like, oh, this is basically Discord for, being able to chat and stuff. And it's no other console's doing this. Xbox has chat and other stuff like that, but
yeah, I feel like that's a much. I don't want to say it's a non-issue, but I think it's just one of those things to hate to hate. Granted, if I'm being real, I'm probably never going to use it. If I'm just being honest, I just don't see myself using it. Now I can also see the other argument that I've seen going around for that, where it's oh, this new chat function is being basically paywalled behind Nintendo Switch Online, and I can see why you'd be upset at that, but. And again, this is coming from a place of I don't really have to worry about it, but if you get the base Nintendo Online for a year, it's $20.
Mm-hmm. That's pretty good.
That is the cheapest online subscription service thing in gaming today that I know of.
Is that will that include the chat, or will it be the upgraded version?
That's the base.
I would hope it's. Here's the thing: if it doesn't include that, then yeah, it's a scam. Then you have to get the expansion pass one. That's $50 for the year. That is kind of a scam, but again, it's also $50. Like,
that's what I'm saying. I mean, it's still $50 compared to like PS or
where you're paying monthly
Xbox,
like $17, $18
or
a
$20
month.
now with the Ultimate is $20 a month.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, so like that's the big argument I had online. Had a little argument with somebody, and they were like, "Oh yeah, well you're gonna go shell out this money, right?" And I'm like, "Okay, but you went, and I know you spent $500 on a freaking Xbox or $400 on a Series S or whatever it was, but you have Game Pass Ultimate, and so over 3 years you're gonna pay over $700. So you essentially have put into $1,200 into this. And granted, you know, it's what you like. Who cares? You know, I don't see the big issues. Like, stuff is going to be a little bit more expensive. It's better technology. We talked about this actually in a podcast about a couple of months ago, and where you brought up that, you know, games should be a little bit. You would expect them to be a little bit more expensive, right? You have no issues with it because it is a little bit more technology. Games are getting a little bit better, and right now we're in a kind of stale market for games. I mean, this last year was kind of it was okay, but it wasn't like the best year for games ever, you know.
Yeah.
And going forward, I hope this will push more developers to bring games to Switch, you know, and in turn making the Switch more play, you know, bringing in more a bigger fan base. I don't know. It's just
I believe since the announcement, I believe the CEO, I think he's the CEO, Doug Bowser, has come out and basically said like what's the game. So let's just get into it. The game pricing, Mario Kart World, I believe physically is going to be $80 or $90. Yeah. And then like digitally it'll be $10 less. Which I'm on the fence about. Not that I don't think Mario Kart World isn't going to be worth $80. More so this idea that we're going to price gouge physical games. As somebody who likes physical games, the fact that I'm probably going to have to now start paying more to get those physical games is kind of an annoyance. But
well, if the physical game was $70 and the digital was $60, would it bother you still?
No.
Why?
I don't know. I think that there's a line, not necessarily that you can cross, but that you shouldn't go past. And I think when Nintendo first did the $70 game, it was with Tears of the Kingdom. And I thought Tears of the Kingdom, and I still think to this day, Tears of the Kingdom, if you can get it pre-owned at a cheaper price, good. But I still think at launch, $70 for Tears of the Kingdom was worth it. I thought you got your money's worth. And it's, spoilers, the whole thing. And I had a friend of mine kind of mention this to me. He's like, before that game released, all we knew was what we knew in the original game and in the sky. But once you play the game, there's the underdepths and a complete area that they just left out in any promotional material. So that inclusion alone, you have like 3 areas in basically basically it's a true open world. It's like you can just go from one thing to the next, or you can go from the land to the sky, from the land to the underdepths, all that. And it's a $70 experience. And they're like, hey, this is $70. We're not going to do any DLC for it. It's just all here. You don't have to worry about paying for like a DLC pack later like they did with Breath of the Wild. It's just here. Here's the game. Here's all the experience. Go for it. $70. And I was like, cool. That's fair. Now, looking at something like Mario Kart World and that being $80, you kind of have to do the same thing. You have to make it worth $80 if you're going to sell it at $80. Because Mario Kart World right now is the only one that's at $80. I believe the Donkey Kong Bananarama or whatever it's called, that one's going to be at $70. So I do think that they're going to make $70 like the standard. I think that's going to be the standard going forward. Whether or not it's going to be the standard for Switch games, because that's the other thing, right? It's like, are the Switch 2 games going to be 70, but Switch games are going to be 60 still? That's another thing you have to consider. I think that's how they should go. If it's technically going to be the lesser, quality game. I don't mean like lesser quality as in like it's going to be a worse version of the game.
Like
but
a previous.
Yeah, but there's the Switch version and then there's going to be the premium Switch 2 version. Basically.
Yeah.
So I think when you do that, you have to take that into account, right? And again, Doug Bowser has come out and said, he's like, that's why we're still offering Switch 1 games. If people can't get to the Switch 2, you can still play all these games on your Switch 1. But eventually, you're going to have to upgrade. Like, it's an inevitability. Like,
but that's with every console.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying.
Every
eventually, someone's going to have to fork over the money, and just pay the money. Now,
but historically, Switch games, I mean, have been really no DLC, right? You buy the game and
No, there's some.
There are some.
Sometimes it's free DLC, sometimes it's paid DLC. Like the ones I can think of off the top of my head that have paid DLC: Breath of the Wild, Hyrule Warriors, Pokemon. Notoriously now has DLC because they don't want to make new games; they just want to add to the existing games, which I'm all for. I don't think you need to pay. I don't think you need to make another $60, $70 game.
well, I mean,
now.
what I guess what I should have the way I should have phrased it is they're just the past couple of years they're getting into having DLC in the games, which the other companies have had that for years now. And it's like sometimes you can end up spending $200 on a game that was originally $60.
Yeah.
And it's like like I said, it's those same people complaining, oh, well, it's going to be $80 or $90 a game, and like. If the game has no DLC and it's $80, $90, hey, whatever,
Yeah.
Great. I mean, and if it does have DLC or whatever, I mean, just the price of stuff is going up. You shouldn't expect games to be $80, $60 to $70 forever.
Yeah.
And the biggest argument online that, it's like people are like, oh, yeah, but inflation and this and that. It's like, yeah, but games were $80. Games for the Nintendo 64 were $80. Games for the GameCube sometimes were like $70 to $80. Sometimes occasional titles, but I mean, and that was in the late '90s, early 2000s.
Yeah,
it was like, so I mean, it's just
like
they've
nothing's
been around.
changed.
It hasn't really changed that much. I mean,
Yeah.
now if they came out and said, oh yeah, games are going to be $120 a pop now, okay, big difference, way big difference. But and I'm sorry, but I think that's where it's headed as well. Just depending on better graphics. If they came out and said, hey, the Switch has, it's competing with Xbox Series X and PS5. Would people have an issue with more expensive games?
Ooh.
I don't know. It's like, or have an issue with it being $400 or $500.
I wouldn't mind like over $100 if it was like, yes, this is now the Sword Art Online thing where you can put it in your hands and now you're transported into.
True.
That
Or if
it
it's
was
like
like that, I'm like, okay.
Well,
that's
I wouldn't
worth
even
it.
mind the $120 game if it's like, hey, that's the game and all DLC for the next 2 years.
Yeah.
Like every release
See-
that we can have,
See, and that's what one of my friends used to work at. He still works at a local game store. Was talking about. He's like, hey, if this game is $80, but because eventually what they did with Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is they added the booster bundle pass thing, whatever, and it added like 8 more like tracks, or not 8 more tracks, but like 8 more waves of tracks that were eventually, or cups, I should say. And he's like, well, what if the $80 is it's going to be free DLC? Just like eventually it's just free DLC and that's it.
See, I think if they said like, yes, these games are, they're gonna be $90, right? But any DLC we put out with them is gonna be free. Then it'd be like, oh.
And
okay.
here's the thing. At the time of this recording, we don't know that's not the plan.
Yeah.
Because they are gonna. I forget what day it is, but they are gonna hold a Mario Kart World Direct, like just a direct talking about
Just
the
for
game.
the Mario
So
Kart,
for
yeah.
all we know, that's gonna be the case.
That's good. That could be.
Now, if it's not, then people might throw an even bigger hissy fit. But
Yeah.
we don't know.
Well, okay, so going back to just years back, right? So Smash Ultimate for the Switch, right? How much was the game when it first came out? Was it $59?
Yeah, it's 59.
59. So how much DLC was released for? How many packs?
Oh God, there was
7?
Yeah,
6?
like 7 or 8.
Okay, and each one was like, what was it, $20? $24?
God
Can't
damn.
remember. Because remember it was like,
Well, I think
$2
they
to $3 a character. If
Yeah,
you
but
wanted
if
to
you
pay
bought
individually,
but I think it was like 2 passes where you got the. Like it was like you bought a pass and you got like X amount
like
of characters.
4 characters, 6
Yeah.
characters, or whatever. So how many would they release of those? About
I think it was
5,
like
6,
2.
7?
No, I think it was only like
Really?
2 or 3.
Oh wow, I thought it was more than that.
I mean, there
Those
might
are
have- honestly, it's been so long
Yeah.
since I bought
Well, I
them.
mean,
don't
okay, say
remember.
you had 2 of them. That's an extra $40 to $50. I mean, that
Yeah.
on top of the game. So you're spending well over $100, and that was years ago. And it's like that's what I'm saying. Like we've paid a lot for games already,
Mm-hmm.
And going back to what you were saying, just right previous to that. God, it left my brain. I'm sorry. Go ahead. No, because I started with the Mario. We were going into the Mario Kart thing, and then it was like, yeah, I'll
Look,
remember it in a little bit.
And acknowledging the podcast that we had done, like I am an advocate for if the developers of a game think that their game is worth X amount of dollars, I think they have every right to charge X amount of dollars. Like if like let's be real honest. If Rockstar says, "Hey, GTA 6 $100."
Oh, people
are gonna buy it.
People are going to buy it and people are going to say it's worth it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they look at this, I hate to say it, but this silly little children's kart racer, $80, and just it not being worth it. Now, Nintendo, unfortunately, I shouldn't say unfortunately because it's Nintendo. They're in the predicament of you can only play their games on their consoles.
Yep.
So these games hardly ever go down in price.
Yeah.
You know.
The other thought came back. Sorry, real quick. If the games are going to be $90, even if they're $90, one of the features, you're now going to be able to share games. And this is not sharing games by allowing somebody who's on your Xbox game, you have to, make my home console, your home console, share games in between that. No, it's none of that. It's just, hey, if you're local to me, we can share a game digitally, and I won't be able to access it, but you will. And maybe at the end of the day, you might be able to go. You might want to go and buy that game.
Yep.
And you might go and beat it and whatever, but you might have enjoyed it, and it might have replay value. Or it might be something like a Mario Kart, or something that's just you're going to be able to play constantly. Hey, I want to try it with my kids. Let me try it out. And you try it out and you like it, you're going to go buy the game.
Yep.
And I'm sure Nintendo is taking that into consideration, because it's like, okay, let's charge $10 to $20 more for the game, but they're going to be able to share games now. And if you have a family pass and you have kids who have a Switch Lite or another Switch in the family, just at any point in time, you just send them a game for 2 weeks. And at the end of the 2 weeks, it just comes back to your console. What other console does that? No, none of them. Yeah. This is like brand new innovation, brand new technology, and you're complaining about the games, but you're not looking at what you're getting with that.
They're not seeing the bigger picture.
No, because it's I think that's the coolest thing, because not everybody wants to buy every game. I'm one of those people, right? I wish I could buy every game, but games are made at the drop of a hat. Games are pushed out every damn weekend. So being able to be like, hey, you know what? I want to pick and choose, or maybe borrow a game from, say, like Ruben or something, and then, oh, yeah, cool. Then I like it, and I'm going to go buy it.
See, well, piggybacking off what you're talking about, I think that's another thing that people are worried about. It's like, oh, well, if $80 games are the standard, and every Nintendo, first-party IP game, coming out every other couple months, is it going to add up? And yeah, it's going to add up. That's just the unfortunate truth.
Yeah.
But you also don't have to get every game.
That's
true.
Make
a buddy pack. Hey, I'm gonna buy this. You buy this. I buy this. I buy this. And we'll share some games.
I've already said to people that I've been talking to about the Switch 2, it's like I'm probably gonna try to get the one that has the Mario Kart World bundle.
Yeah.
Just because I can get the discount on the game.
That's
pretty much it. But
because if you're gonna buy the game anyways.
Yeah. Well, not only that, but
it's like,
well, if I buy this now, because I still want it physically, right? If I buy the game now, I have it at a discounted price.
Yeah.
And then, hopefully, maybe, I don't know, it goes on sale physically, and then you buy it then.
Yep.
I think if anything, that's what's going to happen now, is people are just going to wait for sales. And, maybe with that, Nintendo's like, hey, maybe our games are a little bit too expensive, and they bump it down. I doubt it, but because again, what I was saying earlier, a lot of these Nintendo games, you're only going to play them on your Nintendo consoles. You're not going to be able to play Legend of Zelda on a PlayStation or an Xbox. So, unfortunately, Nintendo can kind of just price out whatever they want, and you're going to have to pay.
It's their product, so they can do whatever they want.
That's the unfortunate thing. It's not like, you play. It's like a multi-platform game, and it could just drop in price. This $70 game can go to $20 after a year.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, that's just not how Nintendo operates.
But also, 2 points. If you are paying the $80 to $90 for the game, and what was I? God, you went on. You said about dropping in price. My God, this has happened 3 times already. Okay. One point was, I can see them charging a little bit less for digital because, you're not having a physical copy of the game. They're not having to make that. Granted, I understand making a physical copy, it might cost them $10 or $15 or whatever the hell. But, they're not having to get it out and push it out. And, you just download it digitally. And that's so I get the price difference on that part. But also at the same, God, it left again. Maybe I'll remember one of these. Go for it. Sorry about that.
I was gonna say, I don't know. I'll probably say something and it'll just trigger you. But yeah, I don't. It's such a hard place to be in, right? And I think it's and I was debating whether I should even bring it up because I feel like it's a much larger issue in terms of our country. But pre-orders were supposed to go up. We're recording this on a Saturday. It was supposed to happen on Wednesday. But some stuff happened in the world.
Yeah.
If you're aware, you're aware.
Starts with a T and ends with Arifs. And Nintendo had to postpone the pre-orders for, at least in the U.S. That really grinds my gears, dude. Like, I really wanted to pre-order it.
Really
I was ready.
grinds Ruben's
I was ready. I was
gears.
willing. I was gonna go do it, and I couldn't. And there's no update to when they're gonna open pre-orders for people in the U.S. But Nintendo has a hard stance of we're not moving the launch date. It's gonna be where it's at, June whatever, 5th or 6th.
Yeah.
Well,
Um,
what's that meme? It's like, oh, this has annoyed me, and my day is irrevocably ruined.
But yeah, it's just like, and there is a worry that this console is already expensive. Is this stuff that's happening specifically for us in the U.S.?
Oh, it for
is it
sure.
is it going to raise the price?
Yeah,
And I
It
think that's a
may.
very valid concern.
Yeah.
yeah.
And I was talking to this with a friend who works at a local game store. I was like, if Mr. Iwata were still around, no. I think Mr. Iwata would have a hard stance of this is our price. We're keeping it that. Unfortunately, Mr. Iwata is no longer around. Rest in
Yeah.
peace. And I don't know if the people that are in charge now necessarily care as much as he did. Because I've read his book. You know, he put out like it's like a 200-page little light book of some of his notes that he would post on Nintendo.com and stuff like that. And he genuinely cared about every little thing, about the player experience, the family experience, the gaming experience. And I'm not saying the people that work there don't, but there has been sort of a shift in their philosophy on certain things. And I think with this stuff, this pricing stuff, I wouldn't be surprised if they do raise the price after everything that's going on.
Yeah.
I'm hopeful that they won't, but it's a real possibility, and that's something that we do have to consider and think about.
Yep.
You know, because at the end of the day, they are a business.
Yeah, but the kind of pushback from people online right now is like, okay, oh well, look, so Nintendo's going to come out with, and they keep saying it's like Nintendo's problem and fault that it's going to be 500, 600, or how much. It's like, no, it's not. It's the government's fault. It's, you know, don't blame Nintendo if they come back and say, hey, we got to make the console $650 for America. That's not because the rest of the world's getting it for the price.
Yep.
You know, that's not our
That's-
fault, not
yeah.
Nintendo's fault. It's the government's fault. You know,
It's,
and
yeah,
whole different issue.
Common denominator in
Yeah,
this equation.
so that's-
come on.
What's funny is his talk actually reminded me. So the whole going back to the downloads of it real quick. Another problem that people had were like, okay, well, we're gonna get the physical copy. You still have to download the game onto the console and all. And I'm like, I could just back into my mind, right? You have to do that with other consoles as well.
Yeah, that's not new.
Yeah,
Yeah, even with
Xbox,
discs,
yeah,
you still have to do
anything.
that.
You buy the disc and you still have to download it on the console.
No,
So it's just like-
granted, this is a first time for Nintendo.
For
Most of the
Nintendo,
time,
yes.
most of the time they do have all the data on the card,
On the
or,
card,
if they,
yeah.
or if they don't have all the data on the card, they do tell you on the box, hey, you're gonna have to need an SD card for an external download.
yeah.
But
But,
this,
I
is
mean,
like, this is like the first time I think that they don't have.
It's not something that's new in the industry, I guess, is what.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And
so-
and like, and the people that are coming to bat for that are the people who are wanting to preserve games, and they see this as a thing of like taking it away, of preserving games.
Yeah.
We're big advocates for game preservation.
yeah,
But unfortunately, it is something that's getting harder and harder to do.
yeah.
It's
We're
just a sad
moving
reality.
more and more to the digital age,
Yeah.
unfortunately.
It's just it's a sad thing. But just try. I don't know. Like I don't know
mean-
what the solution is for that.
I mean, the option is still there. It's just harder to do.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. I'm still super excited for the Switch 2. Vic's phone just rang.
That's funny.
But I
Might
I
have
just-
been. Might have
don't know. It's weird because like it's clear as day. A lot of people are not happy with this. Because after the Switch 2 announcement, the next 2 days there was a Treehouse Live, and I don't know if they disabled chat on the second day, but the first day they were doing it, and this is their thing where they're trying to show off all the new games, like demos, and they have people talk about it, like, and their reasoning for why they're doing
like a
certain-
showcase.
Yeah, basically. And everybody in the chat was, price is too high, lower the price. You don't basically like taking out all the hype of the Switch 2, and now there's all this negative press. And it's honestly probably going to stick around until the console releases, and
Yeah.
maybe people forget. They're probably not.
Well, I mean, I'm a big advocate of the product will speak for itself. If the Switch 2 delivers on everything it said it is, people are gonna be like, oh, it's kind of worth it. And then
There's still
they'll
going to
just-
be people that complain
Well,
about the price.
like,
I mean,
there's
that's-
always
that's-
gonna be somebody
Now,
saying
I
something.
will say this, and I'll give Nintendo credit for this, and we'll probably leave it off on this because I think we've kind of run its course. We've pretty much talked about everything.
Yeah.
But to Nintendo's credit, at least on Nintendo.com or wherever they're selling it, just through Nintendo, they are trying to get people to not scalp. They have a system in place where I believe in order to order it through Nintendo themselves, you've had to have had a Nintendo Online membership for 12 months, like consistently for 12 months, and then I think 50 hours of playtime on your Nintendo Switch to even, I think, get into the queue to pre-order the Switch.
That's amazing.
Yeah, that is. I think more people should do that. I think more companies should adopt that philosophy because looking at the PS5, in the middle of the pandemic,
Yeah.
people were
Oh.
trying so hard to get a PS5, you couldn't get one
Yeah.
unless you were going to pay $1,000.
I
And
got
see, and
lucky.
that's where it comes
Really
into
lucky.
like the whole. Is that why everybody's mad because they can't go and scalp four Switches? You know
Oh,
what I mean? Like
people are getting
that's
mad
what
because of
that's
that.
what I'm
Yeah.
saying. It's like people, come on, like if you're out there and you're complaining about do something else, man. I don't know. Like
This
games
is
are
a-
expensive.
This is
if
a
you want
message.
game,
This is a message from us. If you're a scalper, you are a villain. You are a bad person.
Yeah.
We do not like you.
don't scalp. Don't scalp. I'm just talking about the people that are complaining about the price. It's just
I know, but
I don't know. I think that's
Well,
Pretty
here's the thing.
much
At
the
the
end
end of
of
the
that.
day, unfortunately, while gaming is kind of easier to get into now, it's still a luxury.
yes.
It's something that you don't need, that you want.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, does your want out trump your need?
Yeah.
I see the joke.
For me-
you just made.
For me, yes. Like, again, I'm a Nintendo fanboy. I'm gonna get it. Like, there's not, I've seen a few people make this joke, and I'm gonna make it right now. I'm gonna buy it twice, because I'm gonna buy the Nintendo Switch 2, and then eventually when they're gonna come out with their Nintendo Switch 2 OLED, I'm gonna have to rebuy it. So like, it's an inevitability. I'm gonna have to buy two. Like, and that's another thing to take into consider, right? Like, if you don't want to buy this one, they're probably gonna make a Switch 2 Lite.
Yeah.
That's probably gonna be the same size as like the original Switch, or maybe
Or maybe a little bit
slight-
bigger screen, but yeah.
Well, yeah, but that's what I mean. But like, it's all one thing. And then eventually, they're gonna make an OLED. Like, I don't know if they'll do like a Switch 2 Pro. Maybe. I don't see. Like I said, I think they're already doing the most with what they can.
Yeah.
Like, again, in dock 4K capability, tablet 1080p. I don't know what else you want it to do
Yeah.
at that point, but yeah, I'm gonna have to buy it twice. so yeah. I guess we'll just leave it at that.
Yeah.
Like, I think like we've talked about it a lot. We've said our piece on it. Now we're gonna get into our. I shouldn't say our thoughts because I believe I've said this on the podcast. It's one of our first episodes.
It's not just our thoughts, but
Yeah, but just in general, it was one of the first podcasts we ever did. I said award shows are stupid.
Yep.
They're mostly popularity contests, and
Yep.
one of the most
Agree.
egregious examples of popularity contests in award shows are the Crunchyroll Anime Awards. Crunchyroll Anime Awards. I just slurred my
Crunchyroll.
words there. I did it again. Jeez. But yeah, so the Crunchyroll Anime Awards. I can't talk today. I'm tired. But
Or the CAA.
yeah. So at the time of this recording, you can still vote. By the time this is uploaded, voting will have been closed.
Yeah.
We were gonna think about doing a vote. We don't. I mean, we care, but we also don't.
I don't care.
Yeah, he doesn't care. I'm just pissed at everything that's been nominated for the most part. And
well, if it was a true anime awards where it was like encompassing like all anime being released, not just what's
What's popping?
the most popular at the
Yeah.
time, and on a certain streaming platform. Granted, there are a couple of them that weren't on it, but
Yeah.
we know what it is. I mean,
Yeah.
it's popularity contest of what's showing popular on Crunchyroll, and that's pretty much it. I mean, that's
yeah, and that's the whole thing, right? It's that I think collectively we all watch different animes. We don't just watch the popular ones. We watch what piques our interest.
yeah.
Unfortunately, the anime awards aren't that. The anime awards, the Crunchyroll Anime Awards, are meant to target the casual viewer, and the casual viewer, for the most part, only watches shonen or the big popular animes.
Yeah.
Like
You're correct.
most of these awards, the people that are in there are either Free Ren, Solo Leveling, Dan Da Dan, or
Apothecary Diaries.
Apothecary Diaries.
Kaiju number 8 comes out of
Kaiju number 8 comes out a lot. Like,
Yeah. I think it's like
it's
18
the, it's
of
the
them.
big heavy hitters. Like, the ones that got the most promotions, the ones that were all up in your face, showing you the immense amount of action, minus free run and Apothecary Diaries. The big bombastic shows that they're gonna plaster on every little bit of promotional thing.
The ones they made a ton of TikToks with.
Yeah, a bunch of TikToks. They make a ton of money. That's what these award shows are. They're meant to highlight those ones, and not necessarily the ones that are super niche. And I think that's a shame, because I think there's stuff that I watched that wasn't nominated, either because maybe it was just it couldn't be nominated, or they just didn't consider it good enough to be nominated. I would love to know the actual, because I'm sure, like most award shows, they have people who collectively say, hey, these are the ones that are going to be up for nomination, like a pool of people that are like, hey, these are the 6 contestants that are going to be nominated for this award, and then I'm sure those same people are the ones who are going to eventually decide, hey, who won.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, no offense to anybody who voted, your vote barely matters. At the end of the day, there's probably going to be a panel of people who are going to choose whoever gets.
Yeah, it's kind of the same with most awards.
That's what I'm saying.
It's,
That's just kind of the happenstance with stuff like that.
Yep.
Yep. So we'll go through the big heavy hitters. Vic has pulled up the list, and we're just going to say objectively what we think is going to win.
Sure. So first one is Anime of the Year. Dandadan, Delicious in Dungeon, Frieren, Kaiju number 8, Solo Leveling, and The Apothecary Diaries.
So
there's been a huge discussion here.
Yeah, we're
about this
split.
one.
there's been a huge discussion between us three on which one is going to win. 2 of us agree on what's going to win. One of us is very adamant that is not going to win,
Yeah.
because that person likes another anime a lot more.
It's not that that other person likes anime a lot more. It's that person has seen both of them, and they're kind of like, this one's good and this one's good, but this one's a tad better. Well, actually, this one's better. That's.
So in case you haven't noticed, John is the one who thinks
Yeah.
that the anime that me and Vic think, Frieren, is going to win. John is very adamant Solo Leveling is going to win.
Solo Leveling's more popular. I mean, it's.
And that's where we've been disagreeing.
Yes.
Of like, is Solo Leveling more popular?
Even if Frieren was a better anime, how long ago was it on?
Ooh, that was like what, spring?
Yeah.
Spring of this past year.
And Solo Leveling has had an entire season, second season, to add to what they online. They're showing that it's Solo Leveling like season 1. Okay, but everybody knows that whoever's voting they're not going to be thinking about Solo Leveling season 1. They're going to be thinking about it as a whole.
Yeah.
And Solo Leveling season 2 just finished, so it's fresh on the mind. It's why I say Solo Leveling is probably going to win. And I hope it does, because I believe it's a better anime. But like I said, we all have our opinions.
Yeah.
See,
But
this because I'm not really a part of this discussion. I just made my opinion on who I want to win, and then he, I mostly agree with John until he says Solo Leveling is just objectively the better anime. It's like, it's not. Is Solo Leveling going to win? Yes, but it's not the better anime.
it's better anime. It has better animation.
Mm,
No.
mm.
Frieren looks like I said this about 6 hours ago. Frieren looks like about 50 other anime that you could just pop up. You know what? As a matter of fact, maybe not for this next podcast, because we're going to be doing some WrestleMania stuff for the next week. Week after next, I'm gonna give a montage on here. Okay, so that way I'm gonna bring up about 20 different anime that could take the place visually, sound, everything that could take the place of Frieren. And you can't tell me that just they're not all the same.
You know what, John? I'll do you one better. I want you, after our 2 WrestleMania podcasts, because you guys are getting bonus podcasts.
Yeah, 2 in a week,
this
2
next
in
week.
1 week. Yeah,
You're getting WrestleMania Saturday and WrestleMania Sunday.
Yeah. Probably Tuesday, Thursday, maybe, but
yeah,
we'll see.
We'll figure it out.
Whenever it comes up, yeah.
We'll try to get it out as early as we can.
Yeah.
But I would love for you to do this, and I want you to make a PowerPoint presentation.
Yes.
Oh, great. That's even better.
Yes.
You
Okay,
have
awesome.
2 weeks to do it.
Yeah, we're good. We're
Yeah.
good. Cool. Now, granted, I'm not sitting here and saying that Solo Leveling isn't like other animes. I get it. It's not an isekai, right? It is not. But
Isekai is actually coming.
this
towards
idea of this type of show has been done occasionally before. Kaiju is sort of similar to it, right? We've talked about this before.
Pacific Rim.
Yeah, same thing. You know, stuff coming into the world and like not necessarily coming into the world, creating a portal that you have to go and just defeat, right? With the danger that it could come into the world if it's not shut.
Mhm.
So, okay, it's not the best story in the world. I get it. I understand. But the animation is pretty good.
Yeah.
The music is great to me. And the fight scenes are wonderful.
Mhm.
And that's all I really look for in an anime, in an action anime.
Action anime.
Okay, I'm not going to look for those same things in a slice of life or in a, in a romance anime or in a, comedic anime. It's not going to be the same.
Right.
So I'm not going to go watch Buddy Daddies and compare it to Solo Leveling. They're not the same, you know? I just brought that up because Buddy Daddies was hilarious.
No, hot take. Buddy Daddies is a million times better than Spy Family. 100%.
I agree.
It's a similar type of story
Similar type
that
of
does better
Yes.
in every way. And it was. An
I don't know
anime-
where this came
it was-
from,
it
but
was
yes,
an
this
anime original. I said this when it was airing because I was like, I don't know what people like. No offense, like if you like Spy Family, cool. Like I'm not even saying it's bad, but like at the time they were both airing like either simultaneously or like I think it was Spy Family, and then it went on break, and then Buddy Daddies came out, and then after that was the second half of the first season of Spy Family, and I was like, Buddy Daddies was everything I wanted Spy Family to be, and it's just not.
Yeah.
Again, we went on, I went on a slight little tangent. with
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
We're
we're
a
little
little
tangent,
off
but
topic there.
If you haven't seen Buddy Daddies, go watch Buddy Daddies. It's pretty good. It's anime
But
original.
that's my point, I'm
Yeah.
not going to compare the two. So I get
yeah,
it.
because it's
I
like
understand.
comparing apples to oranges.
Yeah. So anyways, we have our differences. We'll see when it happens. It doesn't really matter.
Look,
But
at the end of
whatever.
the day, realistic. It's one of those two.
Yeah.
Everyone else is on there because they get brownie points. They just happen to be popular.
Because they were popular during
They
the
were
time.
popular enough,
They were
yes,
popular
yeah.
enough.
What's the
next
other big
is
category?
Film of the Year is the
Oh.
Haikyuu.
Oh,
the
so-
Dumpster Battle. Look Back, Mononoke the movie, The Phantom in the Rain, My Hero Academia, You're Next, Spy Family, Code White, and The Colors Within. I'm gonna be honest. Never
So
seen
me
any
and
of
John,
them.
when we were doing this earlier today, just like looking through the list, we both collectively said, "Look back."
Yeah. Look Back. It would be Look Back, The Colors Within, and then My Hero. I'm not too partial to the other ones.
Unfortunately,
The My Hero movie was pretty good.
realistically, Look Back's not winning because
Yeah.
I don't think enough people saw it.
So who do you think is going to win? Like just
One of
popularity.
the popular ones.
One of the- yeah.
It's probably gonna be My Hero or Spy Family or
I don't know.
Haikyuu.
Maybe Haikyuu.
It's probably
Oh yeah.
Haikyuu's a lot more popular.
Haikyuu's pretty popular.
It's a lot more popular than I think it was, or I thought it was.
That you
Yeah.
thought-
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Like, but
What you got?
yeah, it's gonna be one of those.
Best continuing series. It's
We already know
Bleach,
who's gonna win,
Thousand
though.
Year Blood War, The Conflict,
One
Demon
Piece.
Slayer, Hashira Training
Look,
Arc,
dude, just guys, just call it the One Piece award.
MHS,
It's
One
the-
Piece.
There's a
It's the
couple of
One Piece.
awards here where we
By
already
One
know
Piece.
which one's going to win it. So it's fine.
Oshinoko Season 2,
Yeah.
Spy Family Season 2. I'm biased. I love One Piece.
Yeah.
It's every. I'm pretty sure it's been every year. It's One Piece. Like, I'd give Oshinoko brownie points because I thought season 2 was pretty good. Like in the manga, it's actually probably my favorite arc.
It's pretty good.
But it's probably gonna be one. It's gonna be. I say probably. It's gonna be One Piece.
It's gonna be
It's
One
One
Piece.
Piece. One
It's
Piece.
gonna
Next
be
one.
One Piece. Best new series: Dandadan, Delicious in Dungeon, Frieren, Kaiju Number 8, Solo Leveling, and The Apothecary Diaries.
Again, they're counting Solo Leveling season 1 as the new series.
Which it should not be. What they should be counting is Solo Leveling should not be on this list. It's been out for a while. Free Run should be maybe, but I think it should be Dandadan actually.
Because I think what they do is they do spring to winter of
Yeah.
the previous year.
Oh yeah.
So I believe Solo Leveling was like winter of the previous year.
Yeah.
So that's why it's on the list.
Yeah.
Yep.
Again, this is one of those things where I honestly think it's going to be whatever's on people's mind as they're voting.
Yeah.
So it might be Solo Leveling.
Solo, yeah, because that's the last. Big
But like
thing that came
Dandadan
out.
can also be on there. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
'Cause
Hey, maybe
that's
Creepy
fresh.
Nuts will come out. You know.
Which is why I said I don't
don't
believe
know.
Solo Leveling should have been on there. It's already had 2 seasons. It should not be new anime.
Yeah.
Is what I mean. That's what I'm trying to go by. If you have a second season,
Yeah.
you shouldn't be on this list.
Yeah.
That's anyways.
Best original anime: Buchi Girl,
Yeah, this one was
Girls
like I
Band
only seen like 3
Cry,
of those.
Jellyfish Can't Swim in the Night, Metallic Rouge, Ninja Kamui and Train to the End of the World. I've heard of the last one, and your son says good things about Ninja Kamui.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Train to the End of the World. I've seen about half of it. It's pretty good.
Pretty good.
I haven't seen hardly any of the.
So I saw Girls Band Cry because for the longest time before Crunchyroll picked it up, you had to watch it by other means. So I had to watch it through like fan subs.
Oh, okay.
So I've seen the whole thing.
Is it good?
Yeah, I think the music slaps hard. Like, unfortunately though, it's CGI anime. So people are probably not gonna watch it.
Is it like good CGI? Though?
It's fine.
It's fine.
Like I think it's watchable.
Okay.
It's not like have you seen that one Lupin the Third movie where it's like really heavily like CGI?
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
better. It's not like that CGI, but like you could tell it's like 3D animated. But like it's not. It's. I didn't think it'd be as I thought it'd be more daunting than it actually was.
Cool.
Once you actually watch the series, it's pretty good. Like you hardly ever notice it, and I think it's a really nice story of like these girls like coming together, forming a band. And, you know, it's one of those like girls forming a band thing, but like it's not like a Bocchi the Rock or a K-On! Where it's like, oh, cute girls form a band and, you know, like a bunch of this. It's like these 5 girls coming together because they are trying to chase their dreams, even though the world is telling them to stop and no. And they form this band. Like with the first episode is the main character Nina. She like leaves her home to try to pursue a music career, and then they have a Momoka who was an established person who had a band already, but then she left that band because the band was becoming too like I don't know if corporate's the word, but too like mainstream, I guess. She wasn't
Sure.
she wasn't about it. She's like, I'm gonna leave, and
Oh, she's a hipster.
basically kind of.
Oh.
But then like she tries to give up on her dream, and it's Nina who is like pulls her back. She's like, no, you got to fight for your stuff because
Yeah.
she really wants to be in a band. And I really resonate with that, like going out and chasing your dreams and doing something like that, even if it might end up bad, like stuff like that. I think it's really that. And again, the music slaps hard. Like the story of the band, it's like they were a real band. So it was formed. They had like an audition process. They actually made an album before the show released, like with like actual people.
I think you were telling me about that.
Yes.
Yeah, you're telling
So
me
they
about
made
this.
an
Yeah.
actual band, and then, but the band was made of people who like they didn't have any experience with voice acting. So the girls that are singing the songs are the actual voice actors, like or the main girl, and the voice actors actually play the instruments in real life.
Right.
Like they're actually skilled, and they basically translated them into the show, with new characters and stuff, like different names and stuff like that.
Right.
And I thought that was really cool. Like you can go out and listen to their albums right now.
Yeah.
And again, I think
We're
the
not
songs-
sponsored.
Yeah, we're not sponsored. Bandai Namco, we're not sponsored. But I thought the music's good. The show I think is pretty good. Like I don't know if we'll get a season 2. I hope. I'm hopeful. You know, a lot of people were saying that about Bocchi the Rock. Bocchi the Rock. Well, we're never going to second season, and I don't think the people intended to make on a second season. But now we're getting a second season. So
Going off topic a little bit, talking about the music stuff, it reminded me the other day I watched an old episode of I can't remember the full title of it, but it was about it had music in it. It was a guy who normal everyday dude, but when he sang on stage, like he would put full face paint and Detroit. God, is it Detroit Meadow City? Detroit.
Oh, I think I know what
It
you're
was
talking
like
about.
really hardcore.
Yeah, I
Really-
don't remember the name, but
Yeah,
I know
it was
exactly.
quite a
which
few
one you're
years
talking-
ago, but it was a
Yeah,
great
yeah, yeah.
anime. And I was just like, I was trying to find
That
it
was
the other
out.
day, and
That
I
one was out there. I'm like,
Yeah.
this is great.
I don't know why. I was thinking about that the other day when we were talking about music stuff, and it was just like, oh man, I might go watch it again.
yeah, let's try to speed through.
Next category,
speed through.
best-
We'll just give it a little.
Best animation: Dan Da Dan, Delicious in Dungeon, Demon Slayer,
It's
the
gonna be-
Hashira Training Arc, Frieren, Kaiju Number 8, Solo Leveling.
Here's the thing, it's probably gonna be solo leveling, but I can also see people like only hardcore remembering the final episode of the Hashira Training Arc from Demon
Yeah.
Slayer,
Mhm.
and people are gonna hardcore have that carry.
Like,
Best action.
animation.
Best animation.
Animation.
Oh.
Which is why I'm like maybe Demon Slayer because
That's what I'm saying. People,
Yeah.
are, people are gonna
'Cause-
hardcore carry that one
Yeah.
that one specific.
Well, I
scene.
mean, and not even then. It's like, look, for as much as you can say about Demon Slayer, if boring, you don't like the characters, whatever. One thing you can't say is it doesn't have beautiful animation.
even though that arc is bad,
It's
it's bad. It's a terrible. Arc.
could be better,
Yeah.
but it looks beautiful.
Like I think it was like 4 chapters in the manga that they made into 6 episodes.
Yeah.
Like
Oh yeah,
Now I wouldn't mind Demon Slayer winning, but it's probably going to be solo level.
It could
just to
be, yeah.
all right.
character design, Dan
Yep.
Dan, Delicious in Dungeon, Demon Slayer, Hashira Training Art, Free Reign, Kaiji number 8, The Apothecary Diaries.
I think free run.
Yeah, probably free run.
Yeah.
Again, let's just speed through because like
Yeah,
again, a lot of these guys are gonna be solo living or free run. Like,
yeah.
that's pretty much. The,
Best Director. I'm not even gonna.
yeah, we're
try to say-
honestly just skip it. We're just gonna skip
Best
it.
Background Art. Dan Dan, Delicious in Dungeon, Demon Slayer, Hashira, Free Reign, Pluto, and The Apothecary Diaries.
Probably free run again.
Probably free run.
It's probably gonna win that.
That or I could see Delicious Dungeon, like sneaking out a win right
Yeah.
there. I can see it.
I wouldn't be mad. Best Romance.
Here we go.
If you couldn't tell,
Yeah, I'm a sucker for a good romance anime. Bro.
A Sign of Affection, Blue Box, McCain. That's what I'm saying. that.
Makane.
Makane, Too Many Losing Heroines, Ranma Half, Scott Pilgrim Takes Off, which I find ridiculous,
Yeah.
and The Dangers in My Heart, Season 2.
So earlier today, I went off on why Scott Pilgrim is in this category.
You want it to be?
No, I don't. It's so weird that it's there.
It just comes out of nowhere.
It's just,
That's so
like,
good.
Because like I don't know, are people watching that for the romance? I feel like they're not.
I didn't even know that was an anime.
Oh, okay. So you remember the
Yeah,
movies?
yeah.
So this past year, a bunch of the original actors were like
I'm pretty sure it's like almost all of the original.
almost all
Yeah.
of them, and they were like, "Let's actually."
Yeah.
Yeah, they
Like,
basically took the comic
Yeah.
and they made it into an anime.
Well, the story was slightly different, but
Basically.
it was like this is still fun.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Um,
it should not be here. I'm sorry, it should not. It should not be here.
No, I agree with Ruben. I think it's going to be probably Dangers in My Heart.
100%. If it's not,
probably what
here's
it
the
should be.
Here's the thing. The order in which this should go, in my opinion, because there's only 4 of, like, no offense to Ranma Half, like,
Yeah, I don't think that should have been on there, honestly.
well, I don't like it. I should say I don't like it. I don't like that it's a remake and that it's on here. Like,
Yeah.
it's they're trying to cater to like nostalgia, and I don't really care. I don't really care for nostalgia like that. But in the order of which these people should win, it should be Dangers in My Heart season 2, because I felt a certain type of way about that. It's peak romance in my opinion. Then Blue Box as a whole, because again it's only counting season 2. If it was if it was counting everything, then it's Blue Box. But it's specifically season 2, it's this. Then probably A Sign of Affection, and then Too Many Losing Heroines, because I'm not watching Too Many Losing Heroines for the romance, because like it's really like, yes, it's romance, but it's not, because the main guy, he doesn't like fall for any of the girls yet, and then like all the girls kind of don't see him in that way. They're kind of dealing with their own stuff, like their own like romance issues. So it's not really a romance between like the main people. It's kind of just like a thing that's happening, like, so that's why I would put it like lower than the other 4 that I have seen. But yeah, if Dangers in My Heart doesn't win, I'm gonna riot 100%.
Speaking of romance, another episode. We'll talk about it later.
Yeah, I know exactly what he was gonna say, and that should be its own dedicated.
We're gonna have an episode on an anime one of these days. Probably maybe after WrestleMania.
Actually, you know what?
We'll,
Do we have enough time after how much? Oh yeah, we can 100%. If we record that Sunday, that episode should be out the last day of April.
Oh,
Message received.
yes.
So, spoiler.
There you go.
Spoiler if you don't know what we're
There you
talking about. Which
Full
means
episode on that.
which
Yep.
means I might have to rewatch it a second time this year.
You watched it? No.
Like at all?
I don't think so.
Oh well, now Vic has homework.
Oh my goodness.
All right, next. Again, we were talking about this a lot. We talked about Minecraft.
Best comedy. Delicious in Dungeon, Konosuba, Masho, The Divine Visionary Candidate Exam Arc, My Dear Friend Nokotan, Ranma Half, Spy Family Season 2.
Here's the thing: it should be Mashal. It's probably gonna be Spy Family.
It's probably going to be Spy Family or it's going to be Konosuba.
Konosuba.
If
Yeah,
it was
true.
Mashal as a whole, it would be Mashal. But they're just doing the one arc. They're
just,
just saying the one arc.
well-
now, if everybody looks at
well-
it like that, I mean,
Well,
what?
Konosuba, God's Blessing on This Wonderful
It was
World
episode
3.
Season 3, right?
Season
yeah,
3. Which, still, Konosuba
It's
is still a
still-
comedy.
Yeah,
you know.
they're all kind. Yeah,
Well, some are more than others.
I know, but Spy Family, I don't really consider it a comedy.
Well, no, I'm not
Yeah.
saying it.
No, I know. I'm
is,
just talking. I'm just saying in general.
Yeah.
I'm just like, yeah. I don't know.
It's barely a comedy, in my opinion.
it's
Like
barely
the only person who like actively tries to be funny is Anya.
It's
Other than
accidental.
that, it's like weird circumstances. Oh my god,
Well,
is
nice.
Yor gonna like make a funny face or do something stupid. Like it's not really. I don't think it's a comedy.
Best action anime.
Solo Leveling next.
Bleach,
Solo Leveling.
1000-Year Blood War, The Conflict, Dan, Demon Slayer, the Hashira Training Arc, Kaiju number 8, Solo Leveling, Windbreaker.
It's gonna be Solo.
I think it's Windbreaker.
Here's the thing.
I'm
I
just
think
kidding.
Windbreaker
I'm
should
just
have been
kidding.
on my
I've
list.
never seen it.
See, no, you're like, I don't think it should be on the list. I was gonna say, I'm glad Windbreaker's got some representation. That's the only category I think that it's in.
Yeah,
But it
this
could
is
have been
the
in
only
other categories.
Yeah, it could. No,
it could have best
100%.
drama.
Oh, 100%. It could.
Yeah,
It could
yeah.
have been in other things.
Yeah.
I'm just glad it was nominated because I love Windbreakers.
Yeah.
Like season 2's premiering currently. I haven't seen the latest episode, but I think it's really good. I
Yeah.
think there's a lot of really likable characters. I love the senior. I forget his name, but he's a total Chad, dude. One, he's a badass, and two, he's very good looking.
Has a great story.
Yeah, like every character that's in that show, for the most part, is really well rounded and has decent like backstory. Like if you haven't seen Windbreakers, go and watch it. It's honestly really
It's
good.
worth a watch. It is
Yeah.
really good.
Cool.
Anyway,
I hope Bleach
yeah.
wins.
but yeah, Solo Leveling's probably gonna win unless again the Demon Slayer thing happens.
Best Isekai anime.
I have no say on this.
Konosuba, the Mushoku Tensei, season 2, the Core 2 thing.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
the second half of season 2.
ReZero, season 3. Shangri-La Frontier, season 2, which shouldn't be on this list, but whatever.
Why?
It's not an Isekai.
It's
not.
a happy isekai.
Is Sword Art Online an Isekai?
Yes, it was. Yes, 100%.
Not, though.
It is 100% an isekai.
Well, do you?
They
do
get
you,
trapped in
well,
the world.
Yeah, but do you classify? Like, do you have to die in an isekai? Do you classify that like?
no, that's
No.
not classification. It's you're into another world. You get teleported to another
Look,
world.
If half of the if half of season 1 you're stuck in one place and then you can leave, it's
Eventually,
not.
but they don't know they can leave.
But that's still like half of season 1.
Damn, bro! Spoilers.
True, but I mean, like,
It's been out since like the early 2010s.
to be fair, wait, are we talking about? I thought we were talking about Shangri-La.
Sword Art Online.
Oh yeah, I've seen Sword Art.
Sword Art
I thought we
Online.
were talking about Shangri-La.
It's like the
spoilers,
first
dude.
season is like we're stuck in this game. Hey, we're out. And then after that, it's
Yeah, but
like
Austin, yeah, but Austin is still in there, dude.
yeah.
whatever.
He has to go back for Austin.
Suicide
no,
Squad.
I agree. I don't think Shangri-La should win. Okay, I was like, whatever.
Suicide
I
Squad.
think what happened is they just needed somebody to fill in the spot,
Probably.
and they're like Shangri-La for
but there's plenty of other isekais out there.
yeah, but none of them are good.
There's a lot that are
Just
better
add
than
one that
Shangri-La
isn't even-
that are actually isekai. Yeah.
What the? Whatever. The
Yeah,
time-
they should have put the vending machine one in there.
Well, if they're going,
Was that this past year?
if they're
I'm pretty
going,
sure.
if they're going by this last year, they could have said Overlord season 3.
yeah.
Like that, that's 100%.
Season 3.
4.
Season 4.
Season 4. My bad.
Season 4. Yeah, they could have
Yeah.
put season.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Anyway,
The time I got reincarnated as a slime.
Next.
Yes, there you go.
Season 3.
That's who's gonna win.
Yeah, slime.
Slime is gonna win. Yeah.
yeah, 100%.
Next one.
Best drama, Sign of Affection.
Where Windbreaker should have been.
Dead Demons, Destruction.
I haven't seen it.
Frieren, Oshinoko Season 2, Pluto, and Apothecary Diaries.
It's probably gonna be. I was gonna say Sign of Affection. No, it's not. Sorry.
It's probably gonna be Free Ren,
again. Yeah,
It's
unfortunately.
gonna
but
most
it
popular
could be
one.
Apothecary Diaries. They're pretty good.
I
For
don't
a
know.
drama.
Maybe
I don't know.
Oshinoko?
I can see Oshinoko winning. Honestly,
maybe. Yeah.
no. Like, here's the thing: going from season 1 to season 2, season 2 is a lot better. Like in my personal opinion,
Yep.
I like the story of season 2, because there's a lot more moving parts than I think the first season was.
Mm.
The first season's a lot of Aqua, kind of like placing himself in situations to where he can try to find the person he needs to find. Whereas like the second one, he goes through like trying to do that, but then he kind of like gives up for a little bit,
Yeah.
and then he goes back into it. Like it's pretty cool.
Best Slice of Life, Laid Back Camp Season 3,
Goated.
Makine, The Many Losing Heroines, Mr. Villain's Day Off, My Dear Friend Nokotan, Sound, Euphonium 3,
Yeah,
The
season-
Dangers in My Heart, Season 2.
Okay, so I know I gassed up Dangers in My Heart earlier. It should not be in this category.
Yeah.
Because again, it's one of those things where it's like I get it, it's slice of life. They're in school and stuff like that, but like I'm not watching it for
It should be
the-
Sound Euphonium or it should be Laid Back Camp.
100%.
I think one of
yeah,
those
no,
two.
100%. It's one of those two. If it's not, then
Yeah, then they're wrong.
yeah, they're wrong.
Best Main Character, Frieren, Kafka from Kaiju Number 8, Okurum Dandadan, Mao Mao, The Apothecary Diaries, Momo, Dandadan, and Sung Jin Woo, Solo Leveling.
It's either it's Free Run or Sung Jin Woo. It's
Yeah,
like there's no
that's all
contest.
it's gonna
Like
be,
no,
yeah.
100%. There's no contest. Like, don't get me wrong, I love me some Hibino Kafka, but it's not. He's not winning.
Yeah, no, he's not.
He's not winning. Yeah, so it's Free Run or Sung Jin Woo. 100%. No contest.
Best supporting character: Fern from Frieren, Himmel Frieren, Jinshi from the Apothecary Diaries, Seiko Dandadan, Senshi Delicious in Dungeon, and Turbo Granny Dandadan.
It's Seiko. No
This
contest.
thing is
You know who they should have had from
Stacked.
Kaiju?
Ichikawa?
Yeah,
Yeah, they
best
should have.
supporting character.
Yeah. He's
Supporting.
my favorite character in the
Yeah.
show.
I was like, I mean, because there's other supporting characters in a bunch of anime that could have been on this
To be
list that,
fair,
that
like-
were not here.
4/6 of this, 2/3 of this anime, or this part is 2 anime.
Yeah, I know.
It's just 2.
To be fair, if she was in it more, they would have put Nezuko on there 100%.
Yeah.
If she
Oh.
if she was in the season more, they would have put Nezuko 100%.
What else?
But it's probably gonna be the grandma from not Turbo Granny, the grandma from
Seiko?
yeah, Seiko.
Yeah.
Because
The this one confused me. I was like, why? The must protect at all cost character.
Yeah.
Anya.
That's who it's going to
That's
be.
who's gonna be.
Frieren,
Oh, yeah.
Okarun, Senshi,
technically,
that guy from Elusive Samurai, that guy, and Yuki Itose from
So,
Son of Affection.
I said this earlier. I think it'd be really funny if the Elusive Samurai won, because that's kind of the point of the show.
Yeah.
They have to protect him to make sure that he lives long enough to where he can challenge the guy.
Well,
So
that
I
would
think
be
it'd
funny and cool,
I think
but,
it'd be really
Yeah,
fun.
like,
it's not going to win.
It's
that.
not gonna. To be fair, I didn't like the show. I thought it was kind of boring. Like I watched the whole thing. It got to the point where I was just watching it because I had to, not because I wanted to. Like I thought it was
Gotcha.
enjoyable. But yeah, honestly, it's probably gonna be Anya,
Yeah.
Anya or Free Run.
I can
But
see
like,
that.
it's also one of those things. Like, why do we have to protect Free Run? Because she's like kind of immortal, not really, but
Yeah.
like she's gonna live long enough. You don't really have to protect her. You're probably gonna die before you finish protecting her. Again, I'm looking at this from like a a
Yeah.
character standpoint. They're probably looking at it as like, oh my god, who's the cutie? Like
We gotta protect
Yeah,
them.
yeah.
We gotta be.
and which in that case, it's Anya. Even though I wouldn't protect her, I'm protecting Yor before I'm protecting Anya.
Next.
Even though Yor can defend
Best
herself.
anime song is Abyss by Youngblood, Kaiju number 8. Bling Bang Bang Born by Creepy Nuts from Asho. Fatal by GEMN.
Yeah.
I don't know how you say that all together. Oshinoko Season 2. Level by That Guy. Tomorrow X Tomorrow Solo Leveling. Otonoke by Creepy Nuts, Dandadan. The Brave by Yaosobi Frieren.
It's
Okay,
probably
so,
down
so,
to down.
so it was Yoasobi. I was right.
Yeah. It's
Um,
probably going to be down to down. That's, I mean, that
Yeah.
has the best.
It's either Dun or Mashal, and either way, the band's winning.
Yeah.
Or those
Creepy
guys
Nuts
are-
is winning.
Yeah, Creepy Nuts is winning.
Creepy
It's
Nuts is
like-
winning.
Like, I could see the Yoasobi fans coming in
Yeah.
because she's also very popular. She's done a lot of that. She did the Oshinoko theme.
Yeah.
She did Beastars. She's done a collaboration with Pokemon. She's very popular, so I can see her eking out the win. But realistically, I think it's going to be Dun.
Yeah.
I think that song like transcended, like the anime, weirdly. So it's
yeah.
probably gonna be that.
Oh, yeah.
I'm gonna be real. I don't know. I know the next one's gonna be outro songs. The only-
It's not.
Oh, it's not. Okay, well, great.
Anime score.
Oh,
Free
that's-
Ren.
Yeah, it's
probably
probably
gonna be free.
Bleach.
Yeah, no, you don't have to
No,
read
no,
this.
no, no,
It's
no,
free.
no,
It's free.
it's, free.
Opening and ending, same thing. It's the same anime.
Opening.
I don't know
yeah.
because the ending, Kaiju number 8 is on there, and I really like the One Republic song they got for that, along with the actual like
The animation. Of the
animation
ending.
for it because it's the one of the doctors or whatever. I forget her name. The one with the glasses. And I just like how it's very pastel-y, very like vibrant. I would pick that. It's probably not gonna win. But,
What else was there?
And the rest is just voice artists.
Oh.
so the English one has Alex Lee in it. He's probably gonna win. And then
Yeah.
it's probably gonna be the free win for the Japanese.
Yeah.
We're not gonna do the other languages because we don't know.
Yeah.
We don't watch those.
We don't
so
watch
it
those
doesn't
languages.
pertain to
So
us. But
yeah.
if you want to know the German, Daniel Schlausch, Felix Kamin, Florian Norn, Francesca Fried, Jorg Hengstler,
That's so
and Magdalena Hofner.
And there you have it.
There you go. I just went randomly. I'm like,
What?
yes.
All right, so that's I guess our picks for the Crunchyroll Anime Awards. Honestly, it doesn't
We're not
matter.
voting, but
It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Like, who cares?
And now it's on to the pack opening. No, I'm just,
No.
just joking.
I was gonna say we're just gonna sweep right over it. So I don't know. This might be the one time we actually do put a timestamp in the thing because
Yeah, we'll just put it-
we've been recording this a lot longer than we had planned to.
Hey, it's fun conversations. It was all right.
Yeah. The funny thing is, it's
nothing
like,
wrong with that.
It's like we're probably gonna put some Minecraft something in the thumbnail and the
Yeah.
title, and we're probably gonna have like less than half of this podcast talking about it.
Yeah.
We gotta cut that in half.
Yeah.
We gotta
So-
be like Minecraft, all the other stuff.
Yeah, whatever. We'll title it appropriately. We don't do clickbait here. It's fine. Anyways,
Anyway,
um,
yeah. So like we said at the beginning of the podcast, we
saw
had
the
just
movie.
come from seeing the movie.
Yeah.
It's almost 1:00 in the morning. Spoilers. Holy shit. Ooh, I said a bad word. But yeah, so we are about 5-ish hours removed. Well, I guess like 2-ish hours. We went at like 9. We
Yeah.
got out at like 11:30.
yeah.
So we're like a few hours removed. And I think we're just going to come out and say it. I think we were all pleasantly surprised.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We thought this movie was going to be a lot worse than it actually was.
I was not expecting this movie to be as enjoyable as it was.
Yeah.
I just
Now, granted, like Vic said, it is a kid's movie.
it's a kids movie.
There is no super intriguing thought put to this like plot. It's very bare bones.
Yeah.
You know, so
you could basically see the whole story. They're like, we got to do this, and now we got to do this. It's like,
yeah, so
sure.
so the whole point of this story is there's this orb that's a cube, which is like a recurring
Yeah.
little bit
Yeah.
that everything in Minecraft world is or the overworld
The
is
overall.
a cube, but this cube is an orb.
So spoilers, okay? If you watch this and you get spoiled by it, I mean, we
Yeah, it's on
warned
you.
Yeah,
honestly,
whatever.
if you're watching this before you
Yeah.
saw the movie,
Yeah.
first off, thank you for watching this. But
Yeah.
like, second,
Yeah.
it's your fault. Like,
Well, I mean, we can just spoiler warning,
Yeah.
spoiler warning, spoiler warning.
There,
There, we
you
said it
had
3
enough,
times. Yeah.
So-
just one more time for the boys in the back.
Spoiler warning.
There you go.
I believe if you've seen it, you'll understand. The entire first part of the movie could have just been chopped. The backstory of how Jack Black entered the
Yeah.
portal
Mm-hmm.
could have just been. They could have started it off with the backstory of the other people,
Yeah.
and they come in and find it, and they find Steve. There was no need for the whole
Yeah, there's
notorial.
there's a whole like exposition of like why Steve is where he's
It's
at.
like I wanted to do this, but I couldn't, and now I'm an
Narrate-
adult.
narration.
And then I'm like, I should totally do this because now I'm an adult. And then I do it. It's like, okay,
I
it
will
was funny, but
great.
no, yeah, because there's a part where he's doing his narrative exposition,
Yeah.
and he's like, "Man, I've always wanted to go into the mines, but I couldn't because I was a kid." And there's this old guy who's like
Yeah.
stopping him from going into the mine because he's a kid, and then like chases him off. And then unfortunately, Jack Black's character grows up and gets a real
Yeah.
job selling doorknobs,
it's selling
Yeah.
doorknobs. Yep.
which is stupid. But he's like, "Hey," he has this like little lunch thing. He's like, "Hey, I can build stuff,
Yeah.
and I can mine." The mine shaft.
I'm an
older
adult now, yeah.
So then he goes back to the mine shaft. That same old guy.
It's the same guy.
No
It's still
change.
there.
I made this
I
comment.
heard. I heard you say
I
it.
was like, he's still alive.
He's still alive.
Yeah, 'cause
He
that
didn't
dude's
age at
old.
all.
He's
Yeah,
yeah.
which again is probably the joke.
Yeah.
Which it was funny. So they kind of like look at each other menacingly, and then they kind of go and they chase each other, and then Jack Black just does a
Jukes.
spin move.
Pump fake.
Yeah.
Yeah, he does like a little pump fake, and then goes into the mine.
I was like, jeez.
And does not get followed
Yeah.
in.
Well, I think the thing that I don't know necessarily if it bothers me, but it was just like okay, like they kind of just like I think they probably just thought like kids didn't care, but he kind of just finds the thing that sends him into the other world,
I mined. Boom. And it's like, bam, one thing.
and then I mine again.
Like, what?
Like yeah, it's there's no explanation of like why it's there.
Yeah.
Or like anything like that. So he just puts it to so it's like a glass thing, and then he puts this other like the cube orb thing
Yeah.
Yeah.
into it, and then boom,
Into the Earth crystal, and then it creates a portal.
yeah, and then makes a portal, and he goes into Minecraft world. And he kind of just stays there
Yeah.
and
For
just,
years.
Yeah. What? See, well, that's all.
It does say. He says for
okay
years.
for years. Okay, because Vic brought up a good point. He's like, how long do you think they've been in there?
Well, when he first went in, he
okay,
didn't have the gray in his beard.
So I wasn't asking about Steve, Jack Black's character.
Yeah, I know
because
but you're talking about the
about the kid, right? Because they said it's like, yeah, every 20 minutes is a day and night sky. It's a day and night sky, which makes sense because that's how it works in normal Minecraft. And so when they I'm gonna jump a little ahead and then we can jump back.
Whatever.
Right. When they were inside and they were in the middle of doing their little adventure, and that the villager accidentally walks out, and then that whole thing with
Yeah.
Jennifer Coolidge's character, their whole
Yeah.
thing, right? And it was still nighttime while they were still like day and night. I was like, wait, how long how long has it
Couple
been?
hours, maybe.
A couple hours, right? And I was like,
The entire
that's-
thing was a couple hours.
that tickled me a little. I was like, that's hilarious,
yeah.
right? Yeah, like that was it. As I asked Ruben, it's like, how long do you think they've
So
been
like
there?
so Jack Black went in there and he does say, you know, I created this, I learned how to
Oh,
do
yeah.
this. He made the Steve's World thing. He made a
Yeah.
whole bunch of stuff and he says, and years later I, you know,
Yeah.
came upon the portal, right? The
Yeah.
Obsidian portal, right? Or the Nether portal.
the abandoned portal. Or
And
whatever.
it was just like, it was like, okay, so that was years. So like, how long was it on the outside? You know, maybe a year, 2 years.
Well,
No, not even, right?
no, because time is from. So this is my own opinion, right? I don't. They never
Yeah.
confirmed anything or denied anything, but what I'm guessing is it's the same time flow, but the day and night cycle in the overworld is just faster, right? Because he's still aging the same rate as he would in the real world.
But would he age
no,
as much in the overworld? Are we going with that physics?
No, I'm thinking they're aging the same rate. Because I mean, not once did they actually go to sleep while they were there.
But he thinks he's been in the world for years of overworld time,
yeah,
not outside time.
I think Vic's saying that it's the same thing.
it's the same thing.
So like even though like say the day and night cycle, 3 times would be 60 minutes, right?
Yeah.
Those are still 3 days on the outside.
Because we learn it's like every 20 minutes is a day and night cycle. So he knows it's just 20 minutes, right?
So like 20 minutes is a day in the real world.
Yeah.
Like what 24 hours is in the real world is 20 minutes in Minecraft world.
No.
No,
So-
because
no,
in the
tw-
villager wouldn't have been. It wouldn't have been
So-
like a couple of hours.
So this is.
I'm
this is-
going with what you said
right,
about the
right,
villager.
Right.
Okay,
So
then I'm
Yeah,
okay,
yeah, we're not-
So 20 minutes in outside world equals 20 minutes in the overworld.
Oh,
But
okay.
the day and night in the overworld is just faster.
Yeah, but he's counting years in the overworld, not counting.
overworld over here, because he's old. He physically looks older. He's aware that it's just 20 minutes, right?
Can I,
So
can I interrupt real quick?
Maybe
yeah.
he doesn't know it's 20 minutes.
It doesn't matter.
well, that's where we heard him say it. Like when the zombies first started, it's like, yeah, like every night they come, they attack. Thankfully, it's only 20 minutes.
Yeah, it's true.
I was like,
I
it
was just
happens
wondering
every
the whole
20
time.
minutes.
Just wondering, like, oh god, how long was he in there for? Because
Well, probably years. Yeah, but that's probably like, it's been like 1,000 day and night cycles, or 50,000 day and night. It's like
yeah,
a lot.
Honestly.
all that makes
It doesn't
no
matter.
sense.
But I thought it
doesn't
was
matter
funny.
at all.
Well, yeah, because again, as a kids movie, the kids aren't gonna question it.
no, this is something we're questioning. I'm questioning.
Yeah. So
I don't know.
anyway, Jack Black, he's in the overworld, and then he ends up in the Nether. He befriends a dog on the first try, which would never happen in Minecraft.
Never.
Yeah,
and that's a running thing that happens. They just give the wolves bones, and they
And-
instantly become paired with the people. And I'm like,
and
that would
a collar
never
appears
happen.
around the neck, and it was just like it's never happened for me.
Yeah, I was like, it'd take me like 7-8 tries to get that to work. Like,
first you got to go find a bone.
yeah.
Yeah.
Also, this is a spoiler. Every skeleton had an enchanted bow
Yeah,
for some reason.
I was like, that is the most unlucky spawn for
Like,
them
every
ever,
si-
dude.
every single one of them had an enchanted bow. Not that it matters,
riding spiders.
but it's just weird
Yeah,
that they all had it.
they were all riding spiders.
Yeah. So, anyway, Jack Black somehow ends up in the Nether. The main baddie of the movie is like, "Hey, I want that orb," and then Jack Black's like, "Well, it's a cube."
Yeah,
So basically, they end up getting the orb, but then Jack Black ends up taking it back, and then his dog.
days.
every year.
Fudge that.
So I think
Day and night cycle
Oh, yeah,
in the overworld every year.
Yeah, we're not. Yeah, no.
Yeah.
So anyway, Jack Black ends up getting the orb back. He gives it to Dennis, who's the dog. He's like, "Hey, take this to my house in
Take
the
it
real
to my
world,
house.
and make sure nobody finds it." So then Dennis goes to this house and then puts it under his bed. And that's basically where the movie kind of like actually kicks off, where actual stuff starts to happen. But that's
No.
not the narrative. Like,
Well, because it brings in the backstory of the other 4 people, and which is also kind of weird. Like, the whole like the brother and sister.
Yep.
He was like, you're just like moving to some city, just like first off, she doesn't even look old enough to like.
Well, to be fair,
Be a guardian,
there's
I
a
mean-
lot of people that look like that.
Yeah, but that's also a plot point that they do. She like her whole thing was like, I never had a
Or like I had to grow up kind of quickly.
yeah, kind of quickly. Like I couldn't
Yeah.
be as creative or whatever. Like
Yeah,
that's kind of like the plot point of
Plot.
her story.
Plus, I mean, it's like, yeah, this is what mom wanted,
yeah.
right? Like we have a house here.
Well, that's
There's
a
a
whole-
good job nearby. You know.
Yeah, that's the whole point of this. Like this again, looking at the story is, they do a lot of stuff for narrative convenience rather than like. There's
But
like
also-
actual
That
reason.
makes
Yes, but
sense.
also, listen. I know, and I'm looking at it from my stupid spectacles, right? So, I'm thinking like, okay, well, this is a kids movie, right?
Yeah.
Okay, but a kid is totally gonna say and see like, wow, I can live somewhere else and get a job in this other city, like no problem, and I'm gonna show up and they're gonna give me gift baskets and it's gonna be so easy and like, no, you're teaching this kid, you're setting this kid up for failure. He's never gonna get a job in another city, like just at the drop of a hat, like, oh,
Yep.
cool, especially being as young as she was. I don't know. I just from outside, kind of like if you want to make it a kids movie, make it a kids movie. Don't put too much learning kind of thing. They don't need that kind of stuff. It could have
Yeah.
just been a Minecraft movie. I don't know. This whole outside perspective was the backstory with Garbage Man. Like,
Yeah.
like Jesus, it didn't. I guess it was funny. It was funny. I love Jason Momoa's character, but I don't know. I
I don't know. It's
had issues with them.
none of the characters I think are super duper compelling. Besides maybe Steve, and even then, I think Steve is like bare bones. Like other than like Jason Momoa's character being this like forgotten, I don't want to say deadbeat, but like gaming champion, and he's kind of like fallen off. And I legit said that I was like, he was like the world's best gamer in like 1989
world
and I was
champion.
like, dude fell off, dude. Like,
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Well, like
yeah.
what's her name? The other girl, the zookeeper. God,
I
with
I don't
animals.
remember her
Oh.
name at all.
but I mean, like
To be fair, I don't remember the main kid's name because I think Jason Momoa's
Hank.
character kept calling it Hank. I
Hank
think his
Henry.
name was Henry.
His name was Henry. They
Yeah.
were calling him Hank. So, but I'm saying the other lady who did that, who had the animals, like I love that part because it was just like, oh, she just happened to be there. And it's cool. I didn't have to learn backstory about you.
Yep.
And you were just a great character in the world, and you
Yep.
beat up some zombies and you did stuff, and cool.
No, but
the other stuff was just like
no, but
oh
the
my
actual
God.
best character in this movie that's not Jennifer Coolidge is
Villager.
no, it's General Chungus.
General Chungus.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you got so upset.
We will get to that in a second, but he is the best character in the movie, 100%. There's nobody else is better than that.
So I don't know. They had a bunch of
Yeah. Well, a bunch of the stuff that's like that's dumb. I was like, this is a kids movie.
Yeah.
I'm gonna suspend my disbelief
they meet
for this
Steve.
movie. I mean,
Well, first off, Jason Momoa buys the storage unit.
Storage unit.
Yeah.
And that's how he gets the
Yeah.
the cube orb thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What does that guy say? You have disrespected all.
You disrespected all storage.
Storage pond things or something like
all
that.
storage
It's something to,
and-
Two
yeah.
Also-
burly man wearing turquoise
Turquoise,
blouses.
okay.
Like, oh man, come on.
yeah.
That's funny, but
Yeah,
like,
it was like what unisex
yeah.
turquoise blouses or something. But also shout out to all the YouTubers that were in that scene.
Yeah.
Uh,
I didn't even recognize
yeah,
it at first.
Yeah, so the only one because I've never followed Minecraft YouTubers like that. The only one that I recognized was Dan TDM.
Dan TDM.
And I even had to like lean over to John. I was like, "Is that Dan TDM?" He's like, "Where?"
I was like, wait,
"Yeah,
I didn't see him. And then I was like,
oh."
oh, cowboy hat.
Yeah, I was like,
I-
"Okay, wait."
Until I heard you say that, I'm like, oh,
Yeah,
they
yeah, and
are
they're-
a bunch of Minecraft.
no talking
YouTubers.
points at all. No, they're just standing
They're
there.
just standing there watching Jason.
Oh, they're
Momoa
raising their hands for the money.
break down.
to be fair, if we're comparing this to other like video game movies, they did that with Five Nights at Freddy's. Besides MatPat, there was other like
okay.
FNAF YouTubers that were just like pictures on the wall.
Yeah.
Like employees of the month and stuff like that. So like, I think it's fine to just do that. Again, I didn't recognize the other ones. There were like two that I think were people, but I don't know their names. It was one of the guys and a girl, I think. But I don't know. For all I know, those are just people.
Yeah, I only noticed until the very end, so I didn't get a good look at them. But if
Yeah. So anyway, Jason
Yeah.
Momoa wins the thing, finds the orb, and then goes back, driving back to his house, and his car breaks down. And then that's when the two brothers and sisters come into town, being like, "Hey, we're moving in because
Yeah.
That's what Mom would've wanted, I
Mother
think.
dead, moved here because of new job.
Yeah.
We kind of just have to deal
And
with
it's
it.
like,
for
that's
now.
it. Kid goes off to school. It's like, what?
Cool.
And then the kid, super
well,
smart.
no, they stay for a night, and it was like, first day's tomorrow.
Yeah.
Here, take this
Yeah,
Yeah.
Weird
Take this
pizza,
pizza,
tater tot
breakfast
thing.
pizza to go make friends with.
What was
What?
it? It was like tater tots, bacon, and
that's legit. All I saw was just tater tots and
Yeah, I
bacon.
did- when they call it a pizza, I'm like, "Where's the pizza?
Yeah.
What are we talking
Yeah.
about?"
So for extra context, the town where they're in is in Idaho, so they have a big fascination with potatoes.
No, there's a whole factory
Yeah, there's
just
a-
completely.
Yeah, it's a whole factory just
and
dedicated. to
she's
potatoes.
working for that.
Yes, for the social media team that has 75 followers.
No, they want to get to 75.
Oh, I thought they had 75.
No, they're
she
like,
was gonna help
man,
them
if we
get to
get them to
75
followers.
followers.
That's
I'm
why
like,
somebody in the theater went, huh?
yeah.
And-
I was like, yep.
Yeah. So anyway, Henry goes to school,
Yeah.
and they're basically teaching him how to like not be as creative as he could be, because they have to like draw a banana and orange. I
Yeah.
think. But then he ends up drawing a banana with like a jetpack on, and
Yeah.
the teacher's like, "No, that's dumb."
I mean, just draw what's
That's essentially what it boils
Well,
down to. Is just dumb.
to be fair,
And then go ahead.
to be fair, there's like just draw the banana how it is.
Yeah.
Right? It's like I don't think he was saying like I think he said it, but I don't quite remember what he said. But it was like I think if your teacher asks you to just draw the banana as it is,
Yeah, just draw the
just draw
banana.
it, and then you can draw it with a jetpack
Yeah.
later, right?
I mean, and then he proceeds to make a jetpack.
To be fair, they let him do that.
and I'm like, what?
With the
Like,
teacher fully there going
Yeah.
like, sure. So I don't know what the lesson there was.
Yeah.
It was like they're trying to
You get to do whatever you want
yeah,
in
they're
school.
trying to
That's what-
smother your imaginativity,
Yeah.
but if you're building
So-
a fucking jetpack,
And then
Go for
they
it.
let him go outside and put it on this dangerous thing that could have blown up or something. And then you have the guys cut the wire on it.
yeah.
You know?
So basically, there's these kids in Henry's art class that are like, "Hey, that jetpack would never work," and then Henry's like, "Nah," and then he builds the jetpack,
Yeah.
and he's like, "All right, we'll test it out," but then they like cut off a wire to the jetpack, so it just like malfunctions. So then it starts zooming all over the place.
This is the
And then
coolest scene in the whole
Yeah,
movie.
and then
for me.
it goes and flies all the way to the potato factory, hits this giant potato that's like the
The-
potato
the-
mascot.
The potato. What would what?
I don't remember the name. I don't care about the name either.
Chug something.
Yeah, CHUGG. I can't remember.
Yeah, whatever. It doesn't
Yeah,
matter.
yeah, yeah.
Anyway,
It's a
Henry
fun-
Henry basically kills this potato and it lands in the ocean.
Yeah.
It was
So, like,
giant.
It was huge.
And when it fell, all I heard was Vic say, like, oh my God. or something.
Because it goes off and then it explodes in a huge explosion. I'm like, someone's got to have been dead on that. Like, I don't care what the movie says. It hit the building on the side. Rubble inside should have fallen and crushed somebody.
Yeah.
Because I know how these factory warehouses look like from the inside. Something should have fallen. And then it rolls down the building and hill. And I'm like, if there's anybody there, they're crushed to death. And then it falls into like the pond lake.
Yeah.
Like the, like the
Body
of water that they have there.
And
I'm
it's
like,
just the principle. Oh, you might be in trouble. Like,
Yo,
like
this-
what? Like,
this is a for
what
explosion.
real world
It's like-
lessons is this trying to teach kids?
when
Like,
when she said that, I'm like, if that had hit somebody, no
Oh, yeah.
chance of survival.
Oh yeah, he's 100% going to jail. If somebody died,
He's a terrorist,
Yeah.
accidental,
Yeah.
but still a
Yeah.
terrorist.
So anyway, they're like, "Hey, you're going to be threatened with suspension. We need to call your guardian," and he doesn't want to call his sister because he doesn't want to like make her mad.
This did confuse me in this part of the movie.
So
this part.
before we get to that, on his way to school, Henry goes and stops at Jason Momoa's little game store that he has, where he's just been hanging out because he has nothing better to do. And he basically he meets them there, and he gives them like a flyer to be like his mentor or whatever. Anyway, that's not the point. Henry, instead of calling his sister, calls Jason Momoa's character, and he's like,
I don't know how he got his number.
"Yeah, well, I think it's on the flyer. It was on the
was
He
it
had
on
the flyer.
there?
Yeah.
I did not pay
yeah.
attention
Yeah.
to that flyer.
So anyway, he calls Jason Momoa and he's like, "Hey, I need you to pretend to be my uncle." He's like, "No, I don't do that stuff anymore." And we were just like, "What?"
Anymore?
Yeah, we were just like, "What? You've done this before?
What?
That's crazy." So anyway, Henry is like, "Come on, do it," and he's very adamant about not doing it. And then
I'm
Henry's
sorry.
like, "I got tater tots,"
I got more dating dads. And
and then Jason Momoa shows up.
Little flirt scene between the Momoa and Jennifer
Coolidge. Oh yeah. Also, Jennifer Coolidge's character is like going through it. She's going through.
Oh
a
yeah.
she's
What
going
was
through-
it? What was it? The scene where they're meeting in the office. She just trauma dumps.
Yeah,
about
she
her
trauma
divorce.
dumps everything. Like,
It's the
and it
same-
was here's the thing. It's really funny. Like it's actually kind of
the
funny.
Same story every single
Like,
time.
so anyway, yeah, she flirts with Jason Momoa, and it's a little uncomfortable, but it's also really funny. And then Jason Momoa is just like, "Man, whoever left you, it's a real shame." Like
He was
he's
an
into
idiot,
it,
Yeah.
and I was like, okay.
I took it as him just trying to be nice and ending the conversation. I'm like, sure.
I don't know, but
I could have been completely different.
anyway, they end up going back to his little game store, and Henry like messes with the little cube thing, and there's a note, and he's like, hey, please, and the note basically is like, hey, please do not insert the cube into the other thing.
Oh
No,
my God,
no,
it was
no,
so
no, no. They don't
stupid.
call it the cube. They get, please don't insert the orb in the cube.
Yeah, please do not insert the orb, and then they go like, oh, it's a cube. Like,
It's a cube.
so then they do it, and then they read on the back.
This part just killed
It's like please do not do this. Like there
Especially if you're an owner of a
especially-
store.
especially if you're an owner of a store and you're in financial burden. The amount of riches that are here is not worth.
danger is not worth the risk.
Yeah. So in as to progress the story, they go to
Yeah.
try to find
They're
their
compulsed.
little
They're like,
their little portal, and then Henry's sister gets really worried, and then the other woman, I forget her name.
It was like, I thought he was suspended because he blew up the potato. And she's like,
that
what?
was him? What?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, they're like, I don't know where Henry is. She's like, give me your phone. She's like, oh, see, he's fine. He's just playing in an old abandoned mine shaft. And they go, what? So then they go and find Henry, and then Henry ends up in the mine shaft. And Jason Momoa does this thing. He's like, you go first. I'll watch your 6. And I was just like,
to the grown man telling this child.
yeah, I was just like, that's funny.
That's
This
great.
is
I love
stupid.
it.
A lot of this movie is stupid humor. Like
Yeah.
just little quick little things to
Yeah.
like get you to like chuckle,
Yes.
but it works.
You're not
It's-
watching Inception. You're
But
watching-
I do agree. I don't. Nobody agrees with me. I don't know why I said I agree. I believe that all that should have just been minimized to almost nothing.
Oh. If they had cut the Steve parts out, do you think it would have been better?
Maybe a little bit, but like still, it was so much drag in the beginning to get to the Minecraft part.
Yeah.
It was just like this is like half a Minecraft movie. You know, they were in the actual overworld. They were in the overworld for like about half the movie. I mean,
Yeah.
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 I'd say they're in the overworld for like 3/4 of the movie.
3/4?
Yes, Steve.
Really?
Steve was in the overworld.
No, because
for a good while.
I don't know if this is a spoiler, but like I really wanted to see more of this villager and Jennifer Coolidge story.
Oh,
and I was
yeah.
very mad
Oh,
that
yeah.
we
They
were
just
getting
kept
towards the
cutting
end.
back.
Yeah, it just kept cutting back, and it's
Every time
The-
they cut back, you hear Ruben. What the?
Yeah.
Oh.
Ruben was mad that
No,
we were
because-
getting the
no.
B story instead
No.
of the A story.
no, because honestly, it was to me, it's the more intriguing thing. It's this guy who cannot talk. The amount of things that they could have done, like going out into like the real world, like going out into the actual day, but they're just sharing dinner. And the villager's not even eating. You don't actually get any like substantial story stuff until
Yeah.
the post credits.
It's
Yeah.
more, you know,
Or the in the credits.
Yeah.
And we're not
It's
going to spoil that
great.
because like
It's
that's
great.
just something you should experience.
It's
But
great.
like, I wanted more out of that. Like legit, I wanted more out of that. I wanted like Jennifer Coolidge and this villager to like go dancing in the rain, like having like this actual like
Like a whole
romantic thing.
montage.
Yeah, like a montage of like romance stuff. And it's a dinner thing.
it's one dinner,
And
that's
it's still just her trauma dumping. all
and
her
that's
stuff.
yeah, it's the exact same story he tells the kid.
Yeah.
it's great.
And I'm just like, here's the thing. It's still funny. I still enjoyed it, but I wanted more because a lot of it is just them in the overworld. It's like they'll do something and then they're like, okay, well, we need enough time to pass to where they can end up in this other place. Jennifer Coolidge in this villager, and it's kind of just used as a device to like just transition to the next thing.
yeah,
And I wanted more out of it. Like, you know, like
I mean, okay, so the entire time in the overworld, up until they get to, let's say, God, up until right before the village, right? It's just them, you know, meeting Steve or whatever. And just, I don't know. It just seems like very. I know you say it was like 3/4 of the movie was spent in the overworld, but it just seems so rushed. You know, because it's just one thing to the next. To the
Yes.
one thing. And then we're not traveling there. It's cut to the Jennifer Coolidge stuff. Boom, we're there.
yeah.
And it's just like, you know, that's so much more could have been done with the crafting table scenes. So much more could have been done with the cooking scenes, or even just imagine if they took time for Jack Black to teach them how to hit things, turn them into blocks. And I know they did it like they tried to
Accidental
do it,
or
yeah,
something,
organically with the kid like bumping into something and learning. And he's like, oh, he's a creative, you know, type of person and whatever. And it's just like it would have been cool to see them build stuff in the Minecraft world. This fucking movie is called Minecraft, and they didn't build. They didn't build crap.
No,
No,
they,
the
no,
kid-
he built that tower.
Which
He built one tower.
which
And they also built that mushroom.
Who
thing.
built it?
The one lady, not the sister.
No,
The zoo-
I
the
don't know
zoo
who built
lady.
it. They
The
didn't
zoo
show
lady.
it.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
no, but they said that they built it.
They said
Yeah,
they built it. They
Steve.
didn't show it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but it still built it.
No, I want to see them. How did they build it? You know, are they uncreative? Can they just float in the air? Did she stand up on something and build it up? Did she? No, this is Minecraft movie.
I get where you're coming from.
I get-
How
I
did
get-
she learn?
here's-
How did she learn to break blocks? And
Here's
to-
the thing, right?
Oh, well, 'cause she
I
saw the other
understand
little-
what
the
you're
other guy.
saying.
Yeah.
Minecraft the movie with all the regular Minecraft stuff is boring.
Not
100%.
really.
It
No, 100%.
really
I
is.
no, I agree. I
It
agree with
really
that.
Listen, this
Which is-
movie,
which
this
is-
movie without the comedic quips and stuff,
Yeah.
would have been boring.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's like
that's only.
that's all the human stuff. That's all the regular stuff.
Yeah, but what I mean is a little kid coming in to watch a Minecraft movie.
Yeah. They don't care about the mechanics
It wasn't
though.
really a Minecraft
yeah,
movie.
they don't care about the mechanics
Yeah.
though. They're just like, I want to see a movie in Minecraft with all the cool stuff in there.
Yeah, and
That's which is you
Yeah,
know
because like here's the thing, it's a Minecraft movie, but and that's where I'll agree. They don't really do a whole lot of Minecraft stuff.
yeah.
yeah.
Like they do like the bare bones stuff. Like they show you, hey, this is a crafting table and you can put stuff on it and you can make stuff. But they don't show you how to like enchant stuff. They don't show you like the end. I'm
Yeah.
sure that stuff will be for like a sequel movie that
well,
they
that's what I'm
maybe
saying.
do.
Yeah, so I mean, I
Yeah.
think they left stuff out purposely for that reason.
And the spud gun shouldn't have been made.
No, 100%
Doesn't exist.
Should not be. No.
That last golem they made doesn't exist.
Yeah.
I hate it now. It's not canonical to Minecraft.
No, I will agree with you on
Don't
the,
hate it, but it
No.
should not have been made.
No, I here's the thing. I'll agree with you on the potato gun. I thought it was kind of silly, especially for how much damage it was doing. Like
Oh, it was one shot.
But the golem, I thought that was pretty cool.
The golem
And
was cool.
I even
The
like
golem
turned
was
to the
cool.
pic. I was like, "Is that real?"
I
like,
said,
"That's pretty cool."
It's
Yeah,
not,
it's
but it'd be
not.
cool if it was.
Yeah, I was like, "That's pretty cool."
Now, if
That
they
should
ever
be
put
real.
that in the game
Oh my
to,
God.
to make different types of golems,
Oh
that'd
my
be great.
God, that'd have been great.
Yeah. But
But
you
yeah,
know.
but like again, like looking at this movie, it's like they. It is. I think it's the same gripe that I think a lot of people have with the Mario movie. It's like they kind of have to jump through things so quickly to keep kids' attention.
Yeah.
yeah, I
Yeah,
get
which-
it. I
Because
get
like,
it. I
because like,
understand.
because like,
Yeah.
there's supposed to be this like very like dramatic like plot point between the sister and the brother to like get them to like kind of be separate for most of the movie to eventually come back together and be like, oh,
Yeah.
I'm sorry. But it's kind of just like this really stupid misunderstanding of like, oh my God, he did this thing because he was creative. It's like, well, fine, like whatever. I don't need you anyway. I'm like, okay, like
Yes.
this doesn't feel like a big enough deal.
when Malgozia,
Yeah.
Malgozia, when she sent the piglins to the village, right? Once after they do the whole chicken stuff and all the rest of the stuff, and it's just like
Lava chicken.
that's when they introduce what's his name?
Oh,
Chungus.
General Chungus,
Chungus, yeah.
the best
Chungus.
character in this movie.
And Jason Momoa wants to fight him, and he knocks out Steve. Oh, that was hilarious. And then he proceeds to get his ass kicked. It was so good.
yeah.
Certain little things. That was fun. It was good.
So I'm just gonna jump into it now because like there's stuff that happens, but it's not like a whole lot of substance. It's really not.
No, it's
like
not.
it's a lot of this like stuff.
It's
like-
spectacle.
It's
It's
when they're in the village, most of the important stuff that happens is they get to the village, and
Fight.
shout out Tectone, not Tectone. No, we're not shouting out Tectone. What's the name?
No problem. Whatever. That's fine.
What's the name? Oh my God,
Who are you talking about?
the tribute.
Technoblade.
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 See, I had Tech on
Yeah.
the brain.
Yeah.
Tectone.
that is the
That-
one thing I
that-
knew before watching
Yeah,
the movie. Is
Tectone.
that.
Oh my God, I did
Technoblade.
Technoblade.
Jesus Christ.
Technoblade. They did a tribute,
Tectone's fine too. Whatever. But Technoblade.
You just call him Techno.
Yeah,
Yeah, Techno.
Technoblade.
but they did the tribute to him, and
Yeah.
I thought that was very classy.
It's
Yeah.
great.
It's because they go, it's like, oh, is he a
He's a king.
is he a king? He's like, no,
no.
he's
He's
a
a
legend. And I was just like that.
That's
As
great.
somebody who's never seen his videos or anything,
Yeah.
but the fact that they did that, and it probably means a lot to people.
Yeah.
Oh,
That-
yeah.
It
that-
did crazy.
I
like
thought
that-
it was amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I was
that
like, oh,
I'm sure if you're a viewer of, or were a viewer of his content, I'm sure that meant a lot to you.
Yeah.
And I can appreciate that for you. It didn't do a whole lot for me, but I appreciated that it was in there because they didn't have to do that.
Yeah.
They really didn't. They could have just left it over.
I wasn't a huge fan, but I used to watch his videos with my
with your son.
Son was into it, and it was just like,
Yeah.
oh, this is freaking awesome.
But yeah, so that's like one of the important things that happens during when they get to the village, and
Yeah.
then It's because they basically go there to get supplies. Is what happens, and then
We
that's
talked about
that's
the
when Jason
crafting
Momoa,
table.
the crafting table. Jason Momoa was like, "Hey, about those riches that were in your paper."
Yeah.
He's like, "I want them. You're not getting this until we get some riches."
Yeah.
Because he's the whole point of Jason Momoa's character is he's kind of down on his luck. He's
Yeah.
a loser, but he doesn't want to admit it. So that's he basically kind of like not tricks, but he gets Jack Black's character Steve to basically go along with it. And then, like I said, the stuff with the sister and the brother kind of happens, and the two girls want to just get to the mansion,
To get home as fast as possible.
yeah, to get home as fast as possible. Jason Momoa takes Henry and Steve.
Because they get attacked, say, hey, we got to go to the ramparts. Steve says we got to go up to top, and so they get split up because there's fire in between them. And
And that's
No.
basically how they split
Yeah.
each other off for the movie. But then the most atrocious thing happens in the movie. We go back to the Nether, and lady, whatever the frick, the main bad woman, does the thing that hurt me the most, and she kills off
yeah, I was
General
like,
Chungus.
I was like,
And
what?
I was real freaking mad about it
Yeah.
because like my jaw dropped, and I said, "F this movie."
I heard you.
I said, "F this movie." They killed off the best character because the whole thing is that he's a general, but he's super nice.
He's so chill.
He's so chill.
He's he's trying to kill you, but he's so chill.
Like before they leave the Nether the first time, they have the netherite, like the liquid netherite.
Yeah.
Netherwort.
Netherwort. There you go.
He's all,
And they're like,
just
hey,
take sips.
yeah, just take sips because there's not enough for everybody to go around. So just, and I was like, dude, this guy's so nice, and he's this general. And like when he gets to the village and he has to start fighting people, like. It's really funny because there's a part of me that's like he wants to do it, but like he's also being really nice
He's
about
very
it.
It's like,
passive
destroy the
about it.
produce
He's
because
like,
that's what they like. It's like, dang.
Yeah, he's the best thing in the movie, 100%. I think he's the best thing in the movie. Like,
Yeah.
besides like some of the stuff that Jack Black just says, like flint and steel, and obviously the big one we did it at the beginning of the chicken jockey.
When they get to the mansion and like they have to go through that, I think it was a good film scene. But when Hank is off, or Henry, whatever, he's off in
Technically, both
the
of those are right.
Yeah, I mean, they
he's
come
off
both.
in the third floor, right?
Yeah,
and
he's sneaking around.
the whole thing with the
Enderman.
Enderman was just kind of weird. It was like
Yeah.
I don't know. I get what they were trying to do, but
Yeah,
like
they're trying to get the whole insecurities of Henry. Like
Yeah.
that's
he was
what.
seeing stuff.
But in my head, I was like, is that how the
No.
is that
No,
I was gonna say,
no.
No,
I was like,
no.
that's not how
He's
it's gonna work, right?
It just damages you.
The Enderman is just a teleporting mob that will destroy you if
Yeah.
you're not wearing
Yeah.
anything.
But also, he was hitting him with like an iron axe.
Oh, the
And
diamond
he was
axe.
Diamond.
axe, and like that Enderman took a lot of hits before
That's how
he died.
they tell how many. It takes quite a few hits.
Really?
Oh my god, dude.
Yeah.
I remember
No,
it taking-
he would have died in the game, like
Oh, no.
with no
Like-
armor. Yeah.
The way he was fighting, he would have died before.
Yeah,
he even
okay,
got
maybe
one.
I'm just. I feel like it would have taken a lot less.
It was just more like for oh look, he's hitting him, and he happened to appear in front of him, and that's kind of sort of in the game.
Yeah,
that's how
honestly-
you kind of fight in an enemy.
honestly- Yeah, but
You just
also-
kind of swinging
but also-
randomly.
Henry understood that this Enderman was behind him, and the one thing Steve told him not to do.
Well, yeah, don't look at him.
And
In the
it's
eye.
the first
Don't
thing
look
he
him in the
does.
ass. Don't
Yeah.
look him in the ass.
Also, we should also give context. The reason that they're going to this mansion is because the thing that the orb is supposed to go into broke, so they have to go and get a new one.
Got destroyed by a bow from their enchanted bow from the skeletons. Now, okay, going back to that to now, I have a problem with one thing in the movie. I have a problem with a couple things in the movie, but the main thing I have a problem with, one of the main things I have a problem with, is when Jason Momoa is telling, or when Garbage Man, whatever, is telling Hank, like, sorry, I lied about the diamonds or whatever, and he was like, but also like, sorry about this, and he had a
he
thing.
just gives it back.
And
Is that
but-
gonna be cool now?
we going down?
but the issue I had with it is that it was outside of the thing that the kid built, and they all saw it got destroyed, right? They were all standing on top, and they saw the piece get destroyed, right? They saw
yeah,
the skeleton hit it
Yeah.
when he picked it up.
Yeah.
So, and then he dropped it, and then as soon as he dropped it, he like kind of bent over, picked it up, and ran back, and he put it in like. So he's had it since then.
Mm-hmm.
He specifically says, "I took it when you were crafting,"
Yeah.
but he didn't. He's had it since then.
No. They took it back and then they gave it to Henry. It was the zoo lady.
Yeah,
When
but
they
when
meet
did he,
Steve-
but when did he take it?
When they were on top of the tower and they meet
No,
Steve.
but when did Garbage Man take it back then?
When he was crafting.
While he was
Did it
crafting
show
them,
that?
I think.
I
I don't really remember
It was like
I
it was
didn't-
so subtle that I almost didn't
because
see
I think she takes it after she's like, yeah, he's not our leader. We barely
Oh,
met
that's
him
right.
today."
So
Yeah.
they give it to Hank.
And
They give it to. Should I trust
yeah.
him more? That's right. But I just didn't see him take it back. So that's what I was confused about.
That
like,
that one was like, wow,
was
I
kinda
didn't
like-
even notice him
like,
taking
yeah,
it.
yeah. When he showed him in the pocket, I was like, how the fuck did he have it?
Yeah.
You know, like,
He's had it the whole time.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, that happens, and then while Henry's doing all that, that's when we get the chicken jockey
Yeah,
scene.
they get his ass. He gets his butt kicked.
They get into a WWE match with a chicken jockey.
Chicken jockey.
What was great is he beat up and he starts crying, and then he turns around and bites him in the finger. He's like,
Yeah.
"Oh, it's okay, it's okay, it's okay."
And then gets,
Bites him on the
gets
hand.
attacked.
Yeah. I don't know. I think it was a good overall movie. It was fun. It was
Was it?
entertaining.
It was a good turn off your brain movie.
Yeah.
It was, yeah.
Well, because after they get that, they're gonna escape, and then the evil bad lady again. I forget her name. I didn't really care. She goes and she takes the
takes
takes
the
back
orb.
back the orb, but then Henry and Steve go and escape on this gas
Yeah.
little air
Platform
balloon
thing. Air balloon.
It's like a hot air
and
balloon
then,
thing.
Jason Momoa like sacrifices himself because
Yeah.
the piglins have like a
TNT.
TNT,
Yeah.
and he sacrifices himself. But they still have the orb, and then they make their big device, and then they're like, "Oh, we gotta stop him." But while that's going on, they're like, "All right, we gotta go stop them. But first, we gotta do all of this tedious work.
Yeah.
We have to go tame all these dogs. Then we have to build all this stuff, and like that must have taken forever."
Yeah.
To get because they have Steve go and mine the diamonds. He
Yep.
goes to a mine to mine these diamonds, and I'm like, how long has this thing been shooting up into the sky?
At least 20 minutes.
Yeah, I was like, there's no way. Like they would have been taken over already. Like
Why didn't he go back to the mountain and get his diamond stash?
No idea. See, I'm thinking, well, maybe he did, but they didn't have quite enough, so he just mined a few extra pieces.
Yeah.
I'm just
They made
I'm
a
just
bunch
like,
of ingots,
maybe.
you know, to make the golems, and
Yeah.
they made a bunch of golems. Made the one we talked about with the shoes, you
Yeah.
know, and it had some kind of blue armor, you know, with
Yeah.
wings on it.
It looked cool.
Yeah, it looked cool. That golem ended up fighting one of the big, the big pig, hog, whatever.
The huge hog or
Something
whatever,
huge hog, yeah.
which I find hilariously called.
I told,
Oh, it
I
was the
told,
second one technically.
yeah, I told Ruben that Jack Black, after he fights Malgosia, she destroys his armor, or hits the chest armor. I remember Vic saying, I think it was Vic, was like, "Where's the legs?" Or he
no,
has
that
no
was
legs.
me.
That was it.
That was
you?
me.
Okay,
Because
okay.
I was just like, he's not wearing pants. Like he has this full diamond set.
He said full set, and he didn't have no pants
Didn't have
on.
no pants on.
And here's the thing. I think the reason why they didn't do that is because it'd probably be hard to move
Yeah.
in
No,
that.
yeah.
But like you should figure out something.
Yeah.
But see, here's the thing, right? I wouldn't mind if it didn't completely look like regular Minecraft
Yeah.
armor. Like the shoulder pads on the chest piece, they could have taken those off.
Oh
They
yeah,
could
no,
have just
he
kept the
no,
curious
no,
part
100%.
of it.
He looked silly.
Yeah.
Like 100. He looked like if you went to Party City and got a costume, and you put
Actually,
it on.
no, it looked pretty good. Okay,
No,
when,
like-
when
like-
he lost the chest piece, when he just had on the feet and the helmet,
Yeah.
Oh,
I
yeah,
told Ruben,
Oh,
Yeah, you were like, I want to cosplay.
I want
that.
to cosplay that just with the sword.
Yeah.
That'd
Yeah.
be perfect. I
Well,
want to do that for the
that's what I'm saying. Like if that chest piece would have lost like the shoulder pads,
It wouldn't
and
look as
maybe
ridiculous.
they would have just put something like in the front, like not the whole covering, but just like just to show like, oh, it's actual diamond
Yeah.
covering. Then it would be like, okay, cool. I don't mind.
But after what's the name, Hank Henry, goes to the top and he stops the kind of the beam from going up and everything. I think one of the best parts was her.
the last interaction.
She's telling Jack Black, she's telling Steve, come here, I want to tell you something. Come
Like,
here.
completely defeated.
I expected the first one, but then when she started saying come back, I was like, oh my god, it's not gonna happen
the
again.
Second one.
And it's just so, and it's not even fast, dude. It's so
it's
slow.
like,
I think that made.
Yeah,
I think that
laugh.
Here's the
made.
thing. She doesn't just do it once or twice. She does it 3 times, maybe even a 4th.
We should try to sneak attack.
yeah. Which is not a surprise, by the way, because she basically did that for the whole movie. Like
Yeah.
the beginning, it's like, oh, you're doing this creative thing. Stabs a piglin.
Oh yeah, she killed
Yeah,
the first.
it was
one at
not the
beginning,
first
yeah.
time she's done that. It's great.
Yeah.
And then she had General Chungus killed. That's the biggest
Yeah.
thing.
The biggest thing.
But
yeah.
honestly, I wasn't a huge fan of her reason for doing what she's doing.
Oh, yeah,
it's
no,
kind, it's
it's
kind,
kinda-
I get it for the plot. Like her whole thing was like, she wanted to be creative. She wanted to do dance,
Yeah.
but everyone told her she was dumb for doing it and just to go work in the mines. So now she just hates creativity.
Yeah.
yeah.
But somehow, like
I
because
could have
she
swore
hates
that's
creativity,
been
she
like a
wants to go to-
plot of something before. I don't know if it's like a show or like a
Yeah. If you were to strip away all the Minecraft bits of this movie,
Yeah.
it's like, oh, it's the regular,
Yeah.
regular like script of what a kids movie would
I
be.
don't know. After everything's said and done, they're standing there around the portal, and I'm like, why not just stay in the overworld? Like, I don't know.
I mean, there's no reason why you can't go back and forth.
true.
Yeah,
Right.
that was my whole thing. It's like because at the end of the movie, they
Why
they-
does it have to be I'm leaving?
yeah everyone goes back into the real world. Even Jack Black's character because he thinks about it. He's like, no, I think I'm gonna. He's like, oh, I'm gonna stay. Actually, I'm gonna go back. But I'm like, you guys have the orb. You have complete control whether you leave or come back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is. It
It's
isn't
like,
like
why do you have to choose?
Yeah, it's not like you're sealing this place off.
Yeah.
It's still gonna be. There.
I get why maybe Jack Black's would be hesitant to go back because he's been in there for so long. It's like
Yeah.
it's basically his home now. But like, he ends up going back, and I'm like, okay, cool. You know, like whatever. I don't care.
All right.
Like, but it's just like, why was this like this like big narrative piece about it? And then I think the worst part about it is like his whole thing is he's letting go of Dennis. He's letting Dennis go back to the real world,
And then he goes.
and then he
with-
goes with them.
Yeah, it's like.
So it's just like I feel like the emotional impact of him giving up Dennis.
But also, like,
It's
did
like
they leave
negated.
the portal active to where things can just go through the portal? More
Well,
villagers, like,
I mean,
I'm
or,
sure.
I mean, they can just,
of course.
and then whenever they want,
Yeah.
But yeah, it's yeah. So that's basically like
Yeah.
the end of the movie. The actual ending is they, Garbage Man, Jason Momoa's character, brings or kind of like revitalizes his store.
Yeah.
They make a video game based on their experience in Minecraft, the
Yeah.
overworld,
Sort of.
and everything kind of ends up happily ever after.
and they play a song.
yeah, and they play a song, and that's
song
it.
was pretty good.
And like I said,
Okay.
there's a thing with Jennifer Coolidge and the Villager that happens in the credits.
You see that.
You gotta see it.
You- that's
You
one of the
gotta
that's one of those
see
things you just have to see.
Because
Yeah.
it took me way off guard. I'm like, what the fuck?
It kind of made the lack of stuff that happened between them kind of worth it.
It
Yeah.
was hilarious.
And then there's the final end credit scene, which I think we can talk about because I feel
Oh,
like
it's been all over.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
been it's I saw it before we even saw the movie.
Yeah.
And it's Steve going back to his house, but somebody now lives there, and who should it be? Alex.
Alex.
Um,
They don't show who it is, of course, but
But you see the red hair, you see the green shirt. It's like, oh,
yeah.
and they allude to there's some chest upstairs. And I thought that was weird. So I was like, so then Steve has been back, and now there's just a
That's
chest.
what I'm thinking. Like,
So Steve has come back
there has to
at some
been,
point.
There has to have been him
because like
coming,
why would there just be a
coming
chest?
to store things.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Also, before we get into like the ending, the closing of the podcast, when they're in the mansion, and I get why he wouldn't have taken it, but Henry's like going through all the chests, and he's seeing like all this like loot, and then he opens one of the chests and it has a golden apple in it, and he didn't take it.
yeah.
I was really upset about that.
Well, to be fair, you wouldn't.
That's what I'm saying. He,
would see
would,
that,
he
it's
wouldn't.
like, he wouldn't
he
know.
wouldn't know about it, but it irked me.
Yep.
Like it's such a nothing thing for like the story in the movie.
Yep.
But I was just like, oh, you take that 100% of the time, dude. What are you doing? In fact, you drop something that's important in your.
But also, like, you know, what's funny is like, okay, imagine kids watching this or somebody who's watching this and
Yeah.
they've never played and gone into a mansion. Imagine them being like, wow, the mansion really has that much loot. I'm going to go in the mansion.
oh yeah, it's also that's an unrealistic like
Yeah, that's very like,
representation of.
yeah, it's like, you're going to get some stuff, but you're not going to get just treasure boxes and treasure boxes full of fuck.
Oh, every
full of
time
loot.
I run into a man, I die all the time.
Yeah.
I die. I just keep dying.
Yeah.
I can never.
Also,
clear it.
we didn't see any of the evokers.
yeah,
Yeah.
You only see the main ones,
Yeah.
The yes,
What the,
and then I also
The
thought
Vindicators?
Vindicators.
Yeah.
Well, I also thought that when the village gets attacked towards the beginning of the movie, I thought those were the Illagers
Oh,
at first. But
yeah,
then they're like,
Illagers.
oh, it's the Piglins. I was like, oh, okay.
Valence.
Yeah.
Which, you know.
Yeah, I was like, I guess that makes
Sure,
storylines.
sure,
so-
sure.
yeah.
Another thing I want to mention during that Nether's Got Talent bit where the main.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
villain
you were telling me this.
Yeah,
after the
it
fact.
was with the music that she was dancing to really tickled a part of my brain, and I'm like, where have I heard that before? And then I was like, oh yeah, years ago, back when that whole Dream versus Technoblade thing that was going on, there's this big animator called Satis that made an animation.
Was that what they were?
That made an animation of their of like their battle, because
Yeah.
you know, like years ago, Dream was like, hey, we're gonna make like we're gonna have like not a battle royale because there's only 2 of them, right? But we're gonna make a battle of us. It's gonna be a best of 12,
Yeah.
and whoever wins the most can officially say, cool, you're the better PvPer out of the 2 of us.
Yeah.
And Technoblade won that, right?
Yeah.
And Satis made an animation, didn't make the whole thing because it was like an hour long, or I forget how long it was, but made of like made an animation of both of them fighting, showing Technoblade winning, and the background music for that was what she was dancing to, and
That's
I'm
what I
like,
was gonna say,
I was like,
that's
oh
crazy.
yeah, I do know this song. I
Well,
got
that's
excited.
Even, that's even cooler.
I was
totally-
like,
I
oh my god, yeah.
didn't even know that, man.
Well, like I said, that's pretty much the movie. It's a bare bones. The story is not super compelling or really all that great.
No, it was a fun movie. It was fun to
here's the
watch.
thing. I would probably go watch it again.
Yeah.
If somebody was like, "Hey, you want to go watch it?" Sure.
Yeah.
Why not? I had fun.
Yeah.
I chuckled.
It was fun enough to where I'm like,
And here's the thing.
I'm waiting for the second movie now. That's
yeah,
cool.
it's one of those things where it's like we were all collectively laughing
Yeah.
at
Yeah.
certain bits, and you can hear other people laughing at
Yeah.
certain bits. Like
It's a fun
It's
movie.
a fun movie.
You could hear kids laughing throughout the entire movie. I was like, yeah.
Well, here's the thing. It wasn't just
Yeah.
kids though. Like
Yeah.
adults were also laughing.
Yep.
Like, and I'm sure there were adults in there that have never played a Minecraft ever.
Yeah.
Like-
yeah. Oh, I saw in the same row we were in. I saw literally a woman on her phone looking tired as heck with like 2 children right next to her, and I'm
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's
Yeah.
just. I was like, you're just there because the kids wanted to go.
yeah,
Yeah.
which you know,
But yeah, honestly, out of if I had to give this like out of 10, like a 6.5,
that's fair.
7.
It's a kids movie.
Yeah, 6.5.
It's
6.5.
a good
In-
kid.
in
6.5.
terms of like video game adaptation movies
Oh.
or like video game adjacent movies.
Yeah, well, no,
This isn't like the Sonic franchise.
Yeah, no.
Like the Sonic movies, I think are arguably better.
they're pretty accurate.
This is probably worse than like the Super Mario movie. But like, I'm not saying the Super Mario movie is bad.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But I think the Super Mario movie is similar to this in terms of like that movie didn't really have a super compelling story, but it's pretty much fun the entire time.
Yeah.
Whereas I think this movie is also pretty fun for a majority of the time.
yeah.
Again, I wish they did more with the Villager and Jennifer Coolidge. That's just me though.
Yeah.
But I'm not gonna say this movie's a 3 because of it. But anyway, we'll just leave it at that.
Yeah.
And if you haven't seen it, if you don't want to pay for it, wait for it.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
All
Or
right,
you know.
With that said,
Yep.
it's pack opening time.
Opening time.
And
We actually got some this week.
yeah, well, because apparently there was a thing that came out. I don't remember what the boxes were, but there was this like thing. I think it was called like Showdown something. And they were at my local game store last week, and they just weren't selling. But I thought they would have been bought out by the time
They weren't.
the following week. And it didn't look like they sold one. And I don't know. I think I know why, because there's nothing new in here. These cards are from like 2022, maybe 2022. I think. Yeah, because these are old. So we bought 3 of them. I bought 2. John bought 1, but they each had 2 packs in it. And so we're each gonna open up 2. So we got 3 Chilling Reign.
Which is not bad.
Yeah, this is a pretty good set.
Yeah.
And then we got the worst set that they could have paired with it. Vivid Voltage.
Yep.
This set is actively horrible.
Yeah, it's pretty
Like
bad.
this was
Here, take a
was
dice. We're gonna roll through picks.
like
that's
I
true.
I hate Vivid Voltage with all of my passion. Like I got 3.
Oh, 3, 2, 1. Cool.
I got one.
I'm gonna pick first. But yeah, Vivid Voltage is a horrible set, and I remember because Vivid Voltage came out right when everything got shut down. So this is actually 2020.
Oh,
now that
yeah,
I'm thinking about it.
2021,
So,
2020. Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm gonna take this Calyrex pack, and then I'm gonna
Take one of each,
I'm gonna
yeah.
take the Celebi because I like Celebi, and then you guys can fight over those.
No,
but yeah,
you
Vivid
pick it and I'm
Voltage
good.
is a horrible set. So when during the middle of the pandemic, or I guess when the pandemic was first happening, that was and people were starting to like get their stimulus and stuff. Vivid Voltage
Very
was the
nice.
hot thing that was out. Oh, actually, before I keep going, these are Sword and Shield packs. There's
I
a card
figured.
trick. So it's not like the new Scarlet and Violet where you don't have to pull anything in the front.
Yeah, it's 3.
So okay, so are we doing? It's 4 to the front. So
4
are
to
we
the
doing both of them at the same time? or do you want to do like Vivid Voltage first, and then we come back around?
Do both, I guess. Open both of yours, and then
All right.
I'm just getting them ready. But yeah, for both of them, right? 4 to the front.
Yeah, 4 to the front. Oh, and some of the cards are showing. Yeah, no. Yeah, but it's a comment. It's fine. Anyway, yeah. So Vivid Voltage was like the one set.
4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and they go to the front.
Okay, I got a hollow I got a hollow or better because this is also
yeah,
back.
Pick 4 from the back, and they go to the front. And then you flip it over in front
Yeah.
because it's energy.
Cool.
So I got a hollow or better off the bat because this is back when the code cards used to mean something, and I got a white code card. So if you get a green code card, you got not a hollow or better.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I got another white card. Cool. So I might get a double hit. I don't know. But yeah. So Vivid Voltage came out, and I thought it was the worst set.
And
And
the white ones look like this.
Oh, I got 2 green ones.
I got 2 whites.
Of course.
Nice.
Of course.
oh, it always happens to Vic. Anyway,
2, 3, 4.
all right. So I guess I'll go first, and then I'll finish my Vivid Voltage story afterwards. But anyway, I got a Water Energy, Hitmontop, Swoobat, Duat, Poochyena, Rockruff, Blitzel, Skiddo, Ferroseed, Wooper, and I got a holographic Electrode from my Vivid Voltage. Not surprising, Vivid Voltage is trash. Anyway, going on my Chilling Rain pack, I got another Water Energy. So I got Water, Ledian, Welcoming Lantern, Clara. This card used to be broken. I love that card. Castform, Hatena, Aeron, Ralts, Venipede, a Reverse Holo Clara, and I got a Rainbow Rare Celebi VMAX.
We call that a hit.
Yeah, that is a hit.
That is a definite hit.
That is a good hit. I used to play a Celebi VMAX deck back when PTCGO was a thing. It wasn't good, but it was mine.
Yeah, but hey,
whatever. So anyway, that puts me at 8 now.
Yep.
Wow.
Vic is at 3. John is at 7.
Yep.
So Vic,
Go for it, Vic.
Let's keep the streak going. Swoobat, Excadrill, Magcargo, Sandile, Oshawott, Pineco, Clefairy, Tynamo, Nessa, and Lycanroc.
all right.
So pretty much nothing there.
I am. Fortunately, Vic, it does not look like you are going to.
I know.
Ooh, Leaf Energy.
Leaf Energy. Fog Crystal. Peonia.
Peonia.
Peonia. Whirlipede. Coughing. Shuppet. Squavit.
Yeah, Squavit.
Oh, cool. Spheal. Swirlix. Another Peonia. Passimian.
All right, so Vic unfortunately didn't get anything again.
Let's keep the streak going, guys.
You know, here's the we keep like pointing out that Vic's not getting anything. He did win last year.
I did one.
From being at the bottom.
Yeah, so,
Like extremely low.
but he's 5 behind me, 4 behind you. I mean, he could do it.
We got a long time left in
I
the
don't know
year.
how likely it is. Yeah, we got the entire rest of the year.
Okay,
He can.
Lightning. All right, we're gonna go with Moo Cheese, Sableye, Galvantula, Joltik, Mudbray, Slugma, Whismer, Execute, Electrite, and Zekrom.
All right, so he just got a hollow, so it's not a hit. But he still has one more pack.
We got a Dark Energy. And we got a Thwacky, Rugged Helmet, Chestplate, Larvesta. Yeah, Larvesta. Sobble, Lediba. Squovet. Jesus, these names. Crabrawler. Galarian Surfetched.
Yep.
And Porygon Z.
All right, so he just got 2 hollows. I'm the only one who got a hit. Cool. Anyway, so that now brings up the tally to 7, 3, 8. Jinx, you owe me a Coke. But yeah, Vivid Voltage sucks. It always has sucked, and it'll never be good ever. That's my little take on that. I'm sure everybody else in the Pokemon community might agree, to a certain extent. But anyway, guys, this podcast actually ended up a lot longer than I thought it was going to be. We were very adamant we were not going to be able to talk about the Minecraft movie for too long.
It went on longer than we thought.
Yeah, I think we did it for like an hour. Hopefully. I don't know.
It was an hour.
Okay, cool. Yeah, that was a lot longer than I thought we were gonna. I think it's because we were like kind of like weirdly like we started off as a recap, and then we were just kind of like, oh, just talk about the stuff that was
talk
good.
about the stuff we liked.
Yeah.
Didn't like.
But yeah, anyway.
Cool. Yep.
So yeah, before we close out, we are doing a double podcast this upcoming
next week for
next
WrestleMania.
week for WrestleMania. So we are going to be recording Saturday and Sunday.
Yep.
It's not going to be like we record it and it's going to be able to the same day, maybe not even the next day. We're going to try to get them out as quickly as we can.
Yeah.
But we are busy.
Hope is
Yeah.
Tuesday, Thursday. If not, if I can get them out both Wednesday, hey, great, awesome. But it's probably going to be 2 different days. Tuesday, Thursday. Give me a little time on the second one. If everything goes good, we're doing all right.
Yeah.
So, no, it's been a couple of weeks since we uploaded. So this is this week. We'll get back on it this next week.
We'll
with
give you a
WrestleMania as
double
well,
feature
so.
next one. Yep.
Yeah. So and I guess with that we will just leave it there.
Yep.
My name's been Ruben,
I'm big.
And my name has been John.
and we will see you guys next time.
Peace.
Peace.